And just like that, Clarissa has suffered her first professional loss in the octagon. I'd like to say that I think she fought well. I think she didn't look half bad in there. I didn't. But ultimately, her being as ungracious a sportswoman as she is for her, you'll be hard pressed to find anyone who actually feels sorry for her. Uh, I definitely think Abby earned the decision because, once she got Shields to the ground, there wasn't a lot that Clarissa could do about it. Standing up, she wasn't able to get off very many clean shots. Uh, and I'm gonna open the conversation to the panel. Can you guys hear me? Like I said, I think she did well. I do. I don't think she looked out of place in there. Um, but ultimately, guess she just got outclassed. Um, Me a second. Still working out some kinks. I don't know if you guys can hear me. How you liked that one, Ring? I could try. What's good? We about to get into that, bro. We about to get into all of that. Hold up. Let me get the banners and everything ready. I want to open up the conversation of people, all those different things. Just give me a second. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so Jake Paul has already reacted to this news. I'm going to post his comments up here on the screen. Uh, Jake Paul said, I love karma, Clarissa Shields. Congrats to Abigail Montez. Congrats to Abigail Montez. Someone get her a Twitter. He also added a very lengthy comment that I'm going to post for you guys here. He said, the truth hurts, but it's necessary. Clarissa Shields is a loser. In mixed martial arts, and even more so with her prima donna attitude, the fake always get exposed. Losses come when anger and hate take over. Just ask Rousey and McGregor. She spent more time berating Jake Paul than learning jiu-jitsu. She's never been a big draw, and unfortunately for her, she never will be. Amanda Serrano, the GOAT, though, has 30 knockouts in 42 fights and is 2-0 in mixed martial arts. Both wins by submission. Congrats, Abigail Montez, on the win. And this is the consequence of arrogance, which a lot of people these days like to justify as confidence, which is really just arrogance. This goes back to the old saying, be careful how you treat people on the way up, because those are the people that are going to see you on the way down. And while I think that Clarissa Shields did okay in spite of losing, while I think that she didn't look out of place, that she did all right, but she did lose the fight, you're going to find a lot of people, they don't care about that because she's not a gracious sports person. She's not a nice person. And I don't even think she's a good person, if I'm being honest. And I'm measuring my words. A lot of other people, I can almost guarantee you, they won't. They won't measure their words for her because she's on a massive ego trip. And it's a lot of things. So let's open up discussion to the panel. I want to get everybody's thoughts on this. It's exciting times in the world of mixed martial arts. Exciting times. You know, and once again, I want to also say that I never considered Clarissa Shields the GOAT of boxing. I thought she was definitely one of the best, but not the quote unquote GOAT, as she says. Drew, let's get to it, man. What do you think?
Yo.
Yo, I can hear you. Go ahead.
That's come.
No,
That's
hey,
karma,
first off,
bro.
Ring, I give her credit for stepping in the cage, but it's obvious she's not working on her ground game. She can't
Um,
serve two masters. She has to decide if she wants to be a boxer or an MMA fighter.
I'm gonna say this, and I said it this morning. Let me just preface everything I'm about to say with this. The next episode of the relay is already done. I was about to upload it as I was watching the match, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta go live for this shit." So, and I'm gonna upload it after we're done here. Like I said, I'm a gracious person by nature. I don't actually believe in kicking people when they're down. But I will say that a lot of people are not going to be as gracious as I am. A lot of people aren't going to be as forgiving. I actually thought she looked okay. I thought she did, but on the ground, it was clear that she felt uncomfortable, and Montez was in control. Um, who's breathing so hard?
She's still striking like it's a boxing match. She's
Yes.
overcommitting in her strikes and leaving herself open for the takedown. You don't commit those kind of strikes in MMA until you know the fighter's gassed and they're on their way out. You can't punch with all your
Yeah,
might.
because she threw a hook. She threw a hook, and and I was surprised at how wide the hook was. I was honestly surprised by how wide the hook was because you throw that kind of a bolo shot, that kind of haymaker, they're gonna get under it. I mean, they know, and for you specifically, because you're a boxer, they're waiting for that opportunity to get under a wide hook and take you down. So I was surprised that she threw a punch like that. I look, I'm not into mixed martial arts. I don't enjoy it as a sport unless it's Melissa Odessa. Shout out to Melissa Odessa, who I love.
If it
Um,
was Thug Rose, we know you enjoy it.
hey, but she's special. Can we agree that she's not your cut? Can we agree that she's not your run of the mill mixed martial artist? Can we agree on that?
I agree.
Can we agree that Amanda Munez is not your run of the mill? If you listen, if
Yes.
No,
you
yes, I love those kind of fighters.
Shout out to Tony Boswell. I appreciate the super chat, bro. If you're this is how you know that Amanda Nunez and Thug Rose Nama Hama Kama Kama Ha. This is how you know they're special fighters. I am not a fan of mixed martial arts, nor have I ever been. But Fedor, the Last Emperor, Amanda Nunez, uh, Thug Rose. They make me want to watch. I don't give a shit about 90% of what's going on, but they're special fighters, enough so that they kind of make me a casual MMA fan. Like, I don't watch that shit most of the time, but if they're fighting, I'll watch. When it comes to Clarissa, I thought she would shoot for straight shots. It just seemed like logic to me to, don't hook off, because if you hook off, they can get under the hook. But a straight shot is harder to avoid. She hooked off a couple. I saw her hook off maybe once or twice. And I'm like, I don't know why she's throwing hooks. She's better off going for leg kicks and things like that, because this girl wants to take you down. You see, she won't engage you with her hands. She wants to take you down. So I mean, just kick at her legs and do that. She hooked off. She got a little bit overzealous because it looked like she got Abby in trouble for a second there, and she got taken down. She obviously couldn't control what was going on the ground. Um, the nuts and bolts of the fight. Let's be honest, fellas. The nuts and bolts of the fight are not why we're here. It's it's everything else. It's who you are as a person. It's how you've been behaving. It's Jake Paul rubbing it in. That's why we're here, because this is not.
It's you making your Twitter private. It's you searching through Twitter for your name and seeing everybody that criticizes you, and then you talking shit and then blocking them.
That's why we're here,
That
and
Kevin Durant behavior.
and we all know that, and we all know that. James Jackson, shout out to James Jackson. Shields was being out grappled by a kickboxer. I mean, look,
Well,
I
no,
want to be.
the girl she was fighting was more adverse on the ground. This was bad matchmaking. They could have found a straight up striker or kickboxer for Shield for like the first 3-4 fights. I don't know what PFL's doing.
Well, Get Hands says trolling Shields for the damaged coda. I'm gonna say this. Look, and I've always felt this. I don't believe in crossovers. I don't. Fighting like any other form of self-expression, because fighting for a profession is a form of self-expression. It takes special people to do that. It has to be a passion. That's not like working a job that you don't like. You can't do that job unless you love it. You can't do that job and be effective. Anybody could go in there and get their ass beat, but you can't really do that job and excel unless you love it. That goes for mixed martial arts. That goes for boxing. And I've been saying it for the last 2 years. I don't want her to go to the cage because the only reason she's going to the cage is for money. That's not the right reason to go to the cage. Now, if you have a natural,
Exactly. You pointed that out, Ring. Like she's there for the money, not
there for the
because she
money.
loves combat.
And her form of combat that she loves is boxing. So stick to your boxing. You understand? If you're a good baseball player, that don't mean you're gonna be a good football player. If you're a good football player, that don't mean you're gonna be a good basketball player. They're all sports, and they fall under the umbrella of sports. The same way that boxing and MMA all falls under the umbrella of fighting. Though real fighting doesn't have referees, doesn't have gloves, doesn't have rules. That's why I say, look, she's a great boxer. That don't mean shit in the octagon. It don't. You know what I mean? And the only reason you going over there is because you want an ego trip. You think that Showtime and all these people, they just supposed to throw money at you when you don't got fans like that. And you're not doing really nothing to get fans. When people talk about you, and I've taken stock of this many times, professional boxers, fans, people on social media, they all say the same thing. The woman is awful. The woman is awful. The question I have for you, Drew, and I'm going to start off with a couple of questions for the panel. Question I have for you, Drew. If this woman was making $1 million as a boxer, would she have bothered to go to mixed martial arts?
She wouldn't have. She wouldn't have looked. Gave it a second thought to go to MMA, unless it was some crossbreed between her and Amanda in the boxing ring. That's the only attention she'd give it. She's searching for it. It's you could see the insecurity and the delusion in her face. Just we're not board certified psychotherapists, but you could see when someone's insecure. You could tell when someone's got a chip on their shoulder and they haven't healed from their own demons.
Any person and any well, first I'll say, look, she has trauma, right? She has things that she went through in life, and I'm not unsympathetic for those things, but you have to understand that going through traumatic experiences is not a green light for you to be a jackass or obnoxious to people.
I'll go even further. Going through traumatic experiences, there's no book saying you're never going to go through that in life.
Exactly.
Trauma is a part of life. There's not a human being that's ever lived that didn't go through trauma.
I mean, the main thing is that people often use her life experiences as a justification as opposed to an explanation. If you want to explain why a person is the way that they are, you can get into the trauma. But as far as justifying it, you can't. And I said it the last time.
And that goes back to what Canelo was saying. That's America. Like we talk about American fighters.
There you
go. They want that trauma. Like, no, bro, you got enough money. Go see a fucking therapist.
You have guys in this country who think that because they come from the poorer side of town that they are entitled to things, not realizing there are fighters like Mauricio Herrera who took a fight. He didn't have to take the fight. He didn't have to go abroad, never had to do none of that, takes the fight, wins the goddamn fight. And he likely comes from a worse ghetto than anything here in America. I'd bet it. In Mexico, yeah, I bet. I mean, Mauricio Lara, who fought Josh Warrington.
Isaac Dogbay comes from one of them fucking dictator fucking countries over there in Africa. Like, come on.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to, and this is, I say it all the time, it is American entitlement. You honestly think that the worst of the worst neighborhoods in this privileged ass country is anything like what you deal with in Mexico or anything like what you deal with in Africa? No,
in America,
not.
you could be in one of them poor. You could still run into the market and take something and eat inside the market.
Their idea of a clean of a bad neighborhood is a neighborhood that has fucking running water. You do realize that there are parts of the world where there's no running water. You know what I mean? You think you have it bad, which is why, and I say this a lot here on the channel, Drew, that I got it from the mud attitude, that mentality, that's loser mentality. It's loser mentality.
Exactly. People that get it from the mud don't tell you they got it from the mud.
They don't tell you. Do you hear Jay-Z constantly saying, no, he's past that. Like, yeah, I'm over that. Jay-Z said it the best for me, that when you have success, people like to say you change. And yes, of course I've changed. I didn't go through all of this so I could stay the same, you fucking moron. You think I'm putting in all this work to stay the same? No. Now, if you want to stay the same, you do that dumb shit to keep up with the Joneses and keep up with the imaginary quota in your mind, because that's what that is. Like, oh, well, I don't want to lose. No, I am trying to lose touch. I am trying to get the fuck out of Dodge. I am trying to get out the hood. I am trying to shed that oath. I'm trying to do all of that. That's what you're supposed to be trying to do. You're supposed to be trying to grow, not stay the same. Muhammad Ali said it. A man, 25 years later, if he's still the same man that he was 25 years prior, that's a sad story. Because you're supposed to grow, you're supposed to change. And that American entitlement, I see that a lot in combat sports. I see that a lot in life in general, honestly. That there's a lot of people, oh, well, I come from, you do realize a lot of us come from the poorest side of town. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? What, you want a cookie? You want somebody to play you a violin? You know, do you know how good you actually have it as opposed to another person in a different country? And when you start talking like that, motherfuckers stop listening. You know why? Because it ain't about them. Because it ain't. If I tell you, yo, them cats south of the border, them ghettos down there, ain't nothing to fuck with down there, man. You think you got it bad? You should do a little bit of homework. And you tell motherfuckers to do, they ain't gonna do no homework. Of course not, because they don't want to humble themselves. And I believe that Shields was just humbled, not because she lost. And the worst of it hasn't even kicked off yet. The worst of it is going to be in the coming days and weeks when that ground and pound goes viral and people are trolling her and using that as ammunition to laugh at her. And they're only doing this because
And she's lucky, Range. This wasn't even a bad ass whooping.
No, it wasn't. Look. If you ask me
this wasn't like Ronda getting her ass kicked by Holly.
Bruh, this ain't nowhere near on the realm of Ronda getting her fucking face pummeled by a southpaw jab and then kicked it. It ain't on that level, right? But it's the ego that makes it worse. It's your fucking ego. That's why people are gonna come after you now. It didn't take Jake Paul not but 3 fucking minutes after the fight to post this motherfucking shit. It didn't take long, and there's gonna be more coming because people don't fucking like you. And I don't believe in living for other people. I don't believe in that, right? But when you're an entertainer, you don't have the luxury of dismissing the community. You don't have that luxury. You're an entertainer. You're in the entertainment business. You're just an athlete, but it's the same business. You're an athlete, and you have to deal with people. And you think that because of your 2 gold medals and your alphabet titles, you can be the supreme bitch, the supreme asshole. No, you can't, because these are the people that are going to laugh at you now. I don't even think it was that bad. I thought she did okay. I'm going to go to Eson. Eson, what do you think, man? Eson is at a loss.
Man.
Oh, all
Like
right.
you said.
Go ahead. Yeah, bro.
My bad. Yeah, it's a bad look for Carissa because all the shit she be talking and everything she starts online, man. But like you said, she don't got it that bad in reality because she could have got knocked out and man.
I dig it. I'm gonna go to AJ. AJ, what do you think, bro?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What was I saying on the last live? Did I say she needs to stay her ass out of the octagon?
Yeah. I mean,
Did I say that?
I said it yesterday that I have a bad feeling about this fight because that Abby Montez, and I want to say this about Abby Montez. She got some nice thighs, and I'm going to say that. Go ahead, AJ.
You had to go there.
I have to. Bro, I'm Spanish. We live for the, like some people are real big on titties. I'm not big on titties. I'm big on ass and thighs. That's what I'm big on. That's how it's made.
Yeah, just karma's a bitch. That's all I'm gonna say. This a bitch. This a cruel mistress. And it came for Clarissa tonight, man. I didn't see it. I'll probably check out the fight, but I'm not surprised. You know, I mean, I just had a pit in my stomach. It's like she just needs this because she's not a mixed martial artist. She's not. I mean, she can train as much as she wants. She's a boxer. That's what she is. That's her bread and butter. She's a boxer.
And she's an arrogant boxer.
An arrogant one at that. Yeah, and I also like if Jake Paul said what he said. Even though I agree with literally almost everything he said, I don't want to get your channel flag ring. I don't want to get you trouble. This information is actually out there. I found out a few days ago. Props to Lady Chan for this. She put up a post, and I looked it up myself. Apparently, Dylan Dennis claims that Jake Paul is putting on knockout clauses in his contracts for his fights. So, so if that's true, this dude is nothing but a con man who's robbing fans. So he's one. So he's one to talk. If he's talking shit like this, even though I agree with him, that's. I'm just leave it there. So yeah.
No, I mean, look. I'm gonna say this, right? I figured something's not right here. Honestly, God, I mean, I figured something's not right here because I don't even view this kid as an actual fighter.
Like Jake Paul, right?
I don't. I never have. Like You don't like he's a smart guy. You know he's Team Capricorn, right, Drew?
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, no,
kid's
it's
a hustler.
sports
He's a hustler, man.
entertainment with Jake Paul. That's all.
He's a hustler. He's a hustler.
He's a
I'm
hustler.
not knocking his game. I'm not knocking his game, man. He's a hustler, and I respect
Like,
that.
look. He is a Mauricio Suleiman Capricorn, to where he knows how to play the game. You know that's the kind of Capricorn that he is. And
he won't be the first comment in boxing, and he won't be the last.
Of course not, and that's why I don't get mad at it. Why do you think I don't give a shit if Daniel Kinahan is part of a cartel? If you know anything about the history of boxing, you think he's the first mob guy in the sport of, like, what am I going to be outraged about? The foundations of this sport were built on the back of mobsters.
At least when the mob was running it, there was one champion per division.
Exactly. Like,
hello.
Listen, I welcome organized crime because I'm very organized myself, and I know you are, Drew. Too, Drew, because we're Capricorns, goddammit. I already looked at Jake Paul as something is not right here, and I just don't care enough to spend time on it, because if you want to buy his shit, you buy his shit. If you don't want to buy his shit, then don't buy his shit. I don't care I don't actually care what he's doing. For all I know, he's probably going to beat Tommy Fury because he sucks.
Yeah, Tommy Fury is weak. He's weak. He's weak.
I mean,
but also, you know, when watching the fight, you could tell the boxing rounds for women have fucked up. She hasn't transitioned from 2-minute rounds to 5-minute rounds. And it's evident in her pace and how she paces around in MMA. You could see it.
Well, I'll say this also. I
that
think
5-minute rounds is like an eternity coming from 2-minute rounds.
Do you guys think she's done now? Do you think she's done?
I don't think she's done with. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I choose to have faith in her. I choose. What I mean by that is, you suffered a loss. Losing is not the part that's gonna make it hard. It's the days and weeks after the fight when people are coming after you. Now you're gonna be measured as a champion and a fighter, because you have to deal with that. You have to own it, and you have to suck it up, and either you use it to get better or you let it destroy you. That's old school boxing, bro. Like, old school boxing, motherfuckers didn't care about no undefeated record, bro. The best of the best fighters had fucking losses, but you knew they were the best because they fought. She finds herself in that situation in the cage, and now you have to show that you have a champion spirit, not just a champion's mindset, a champion spirit that, look, I lost, I could come back from that, I could be better at this. That's if you really care about MMA, though. And once again, I've been saying it, Drew's been saying it, I think many of the people on the channel have been saying it, that you only went to the cage for money, not for love. You only went for money. You probably love boxing. You probably love that, but I don't think you love MMA. You only did that because
I don't think she loves fighting, though, Ring, because to bring Floyd into this, Floyd knew he lost the Castillo fight. What did he do? Okay, I got to run that back.
You ran it back.
Yeah, Floyd knows in his heart that, okay, that Maidana fight, that was a draw. Nobody dominated the first fight. What do? I'm going to run that back. I give Floyd shit for all his other bullshit in the ring, but when there was doubt, if like, okay, nobody really won, I got to run it back.
I want to let me read a couple of the super chats. Danny Jacobs survived back cancer and returned to the ring. Some people have that ability to use their personal pain to take them to new heights. Jacob Sims says, I unfortunately follow a lot of these YouTube guys. I can confidently say that anything that comes out of Dylan Dennis' mouth is complete bullshit. Battle Rifle says, Ring, where's the link? Scroll up, bro. Scroll up. It's up there. All right, I want to go to Shelton. Shelton, what's your reaction to everything that's happened and the conversation that we're having? What's your reaction to this stuff?
Well, brothers, first of all, salute to everybody here. Hope you're having a great night. And we talked about this yesterday, I believe it was, or day before. I'm not sure. I think it was yesterday.
I think it was the day before, bro. I think it was the day before.
Yeah, day before. Carissa Shields' biggest problem is that she has a grating personality. She's irritating. She's constantly complaining and whining about how she's not getting her just due, and she's the greatest of all time, and nobody respects her. And she can beat anybody at anything. She just put out something, I think it was today or yesterday, about how she would tie her hand behind her back and spar Jake Paul. I mean, those are the things that she does. She says these idiotic things and then wonders why people call her an idiot.
I remember
because you say idiotic things.
I remember
you say you could knock out Keith Thurman. Yeah, go ahead.
I remember Shelton when Ronda Rousey actually drunk the Kool-Aid thought that she could knock out Floyd or something. I remember there was a thing going around in her heyday when she thought that she could actually do something to Floyd. She
That's
goes
what
in
Dana
there.
White said.
Now listen, she went in there with Holly Holm. I followed Holly Holm's career before I was even really into the women's boxing like that, right? But I followed Holly, the preacher's daughter. Holly was never a big puncher. But the second Holly laid hands on her in that cage,
It was a wrap, right? It was a
Done.
wrap.
Done.
It was
Beat
a
her
wrap.
down and knocked her out.
They rushed Holly to that Ronda fight. They rushed her about 3-4 fights before she was even ready fully, like with her whole arsenal for that fight.
Was she like
No,
6 and
I
7
mean,
and 0
I
for that
don't even
fight?
think it was. Can I speak on that? I don't even think it wasn't the fact that she was ready. Holly Holmes was losing at the time. She was looking okay, but she wasn't looking as good as she used to. The thing about it is just that Ronda Rousey was beating some of her best competitions in less than like 30 seconds. So I think they thought she was pretty ready.
No,
But-
they when I say rush, they knew Holly Holly was like Clarissa on the ground, had no idea what to do. So they wanted to get Holly in there before she knew how to defend submissions and ground work.
Can we keep it real? Hold on, fellas. Can we keep it real for a minute? Can we just keep it honest?
All right.
Ronda Rousey was a judo expert. She couldn't fight.
Absolutely.
She had no business.
She tried to beat Holly at her own game.
She had no business in the ring with Holly Holm.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. Let me say this. Look, Ronda Rousey comes from an era of MMA fighters not dissimilar from how Ann Wolfe comes from a certain era of women boxers. And I noticed that a lot of the women fighters, they're actually getting better. Valentina Shevchenko is a beast. She's a monster.
Yes.
Bro, bro. Okay, so he said, like, I don't have really no point. I mean, I don't really have no like beef with what you're saying. I get where that mindset comes from, but I don't think it's that. It's a lot more complicated than just Ronda Rousey is just not a good fighter as far as just the striking game. It's easy to say that. Yes, she isn't. She has flaws in the striking game. I think she is pretty decent at her striking game. It just wasn't on with Holly Holmes. The thing is, we literally had some of the greatest MMA fighters. Amanda Nunes was destroying people. Like, I think people don't.
Battle. I'm gonna ask you a question, Battle. Do you think that Ken Shamrock and Bas Rutten would be competitive in this era of MMA fighters? Because I don't.
No, they could be. Baz Rutten was a tough guy.
They'll be competitive.
The thing is, the rules has changed so much because you remember they had to slap a lot. They had to get up after, like, you remember that there was a lot of rules where they had to get up after a certain time of people not moving because
I'm telling you, they were good at a time, and I believe that Ronda, this is true for Ronda. I believe that they were good for their time because it was a different sport. But now you're getting fighters that more or less have more of a pedigree. We're seeing that in women's boxing also. That now you're getting fighters, they didn't just one day decide that I'm going to box. No, they got a pedigree. They've been at this for years. Girls like Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron, Sophia Ochagawa, Clarissa Shields to some degree, even though her problem is you're not going to face the stiffest competition in your weight class. You're just not. Because
the thing with Ronda didn't join a camp. She'd have her one trainer, and she wasn't getting her ad like going to the camps like Khabib did, like the AKAs, all the famous MMA camps. She had private trainers come in, private sparring, and she never got better. She was not getting tested.
She didn't have to because she was winning.
But that doesn't work in MMA. Eventually, when they match you up with somebody that's decent, that gets exposed. Same thing with Conor McGregor.
Somebody that can fight.
Brock Lesnar. They never joined a fight camp. They never joined the actual team to go into the rigors of the day and day.
It's so many variables in fighting that can just really just throw you off. It's just.
Can I ask you a question?
Hold on, before you get that, Conor McGregor is literally one of the best. He's probably number one as far as our best strikers of the generation. Like when Cain Velasquez got hold up, when Cain Velasquez got knocked out. What's wrong with what I'm saying?
Conor McGregor?
Conor McGregor was a blown up dude kicking on 145 pounds.
Let me say this. Wait, let me say this, Battle. Let me say this. I was hearing that about Conor, and bear in mind, I don't follow mixed martial arts, but I heard that about Conor for years, that all you are is a middleweight or a light heavyweight that's swimming down to fight smaller fighters, and that's where the power comes from. That's what I heard.
Of course, there's a lot of guys that were kind of too big for the weight. George St. Pierre was one of those guys. He was just a guy who just knew how to diet down. It
Don't
was just
compare
how it
Conor.
happened.
Don't compare Conor McGregor to
No,
George.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
don't compare.
No.
No, you can't do that.
Don't do
Don't
that.
put it in a
And you can't
comparison.
say Connor was like Anderson Silva was the striker. That was the striker.
Yes.
So was Conor McGregor. Are we literally saying that Conor McGregor is not one of the best strikers of this generation?
Yes, we are, because he only had
So-
that left
so-
hand.
so
If that
what-
left
so
hand
what
didn't
do
do
you
nothing,
disagree with?
he didn't know what to do.
What? Come on, man.
Gents,
This is
gents,
weird,
guys,
man. Like,
gents, could I add something? Gents, could I add something right quick?
Weird, man. I never knew this was so much. This is so much hate on Conor McGregor. But here's my thing, right? My thing is, it's just like I said, it's so many variables. Because we can get back to that Conor McGregor situation right after this. It's so many variables. Anyway, we just don't. We just don't. You ain't gonna prepare for it when it happens, because it's just happening. It's just so many variables you can't prepare for. When Cain Velasquez got knocked out by Junior Dos Santos, I couldn't believe in my eyes, because I didn't see Cain Velasquez losing for a very long time. He didn't lose for a long time, but until that happened, so I was just like, bro.
True,
like,
but then if we do the nuance, Cain Velasquez went into that first fight with a torn ACL.
Yeah. Like I said, my philosophy is always every fighter is somewhat hurt. That's just me. Like most fighters are somewhat hurt. That just happens. It's the part of the fight game. You can't just blame it on it happens. Me personally, I think fighters are always hurt. So the thing is, I just think there's so many variables to MMA we just don't consider. A lot of times these people be winning, and then they get choked out in like 13 seconds. It happens.
Now, battle. I said it at the beginning of the video. It's not that she lost, because I think she looked all right. I don't think she looked out of place except for when she was on the ground. What I'm talking about is the environment that you have created for yourself with your demeanor towards people. Losing ain't shit, man. It's combat sports.
It's combat, but back to I'm gonna tell you how much of a mirage Conor McGregor's career is. Like unlike Tyson Fury, he's never defended a title, ever.
Yeah, didn't he just hopscotch from one weight to the other?
He's never defended.
Yeah,
a
he
belt.
went to the other one. He got the interim, lost the interim because of inactivity, and then he's never.
I never knew that. He never defended the title.
Cleaned out a division.
So what I want to say is this, right? Do you see how immediate the backlash is? All I'm saying is, you could have your traumatic experiences. You could spit in the fucking wind and hit somebody that had a traumatic experience. That does not warrant the behavior. And it's just like Evander Holyfield said. It's one of his more famous quotes. Be careful how you treat people on the way up, because those are the people you're gonna pass on the way down. And it's not losing the fight that is going to affect Clarissa. It is how people treat her, because she has a very big ego and she's not a gracious sportsman.
That's most fighters.
Wait.
That's most fighters. That's most fighters.
Let's be honest.
Let's be
honest.
Who's
wait, why we changing up?
Wait, hold on, Battle. Did you take a survey of how most fighters behave?
No, I'm looking at the history of boxing. Like, we endear Mike Tyson. He used to say some outright vulgar shit to people, and especially disrespecting women. You got boxers that been to jail. You got boxers that done beat women, that done sold drugs, all types of shit, bro.
Sir JC, please calm down, because you flying off the handle, bro. Ain't nobody on this panel did shit to you for you to be screaming, hooping, and hollering.
I'm just talking, bro. Like, what the fuck?
You hooping and hollering over me and
well, one, my nigga, I'm not hollering. Maybe my radio's too loud, my nigga, but I'm not hollering at nobody.
That might be what it is, because it sounds like you hollering. First, I'm gonna say this. You said people endeared Mike Tyson because of his demeanor. This is true. Who beat Mike Tyson?
A few people, like a handful of people.
Who beat him 2 times?
Evander Holyfield.
Now, was Evander Holyfield the spitting image of Mike Tyson?
Absolutely not.
Do people endear Evander Holyfield?
Not nowhere near close to Mike Tyson. Not at all.
That's not what I asked. I asked, do they endear him?
Oh, I mean, that's kind of subjective.
So you're saying people don't endear Evander Holyfield?
No. I mean, yes, they appreciate his career. Yes, I mean, yes, but not like Mike Tyson. But yes.
George Foreman, was he endeared more when he was viewed as a menace, or was he endeared more when he was viewed as a pastor and a happy guy an old boxer? When did people like him more? The latter, right?
The latter.
It is not a necessity. The point that I'm making is in order for people to endear you, it is not a necessity for you to be massively abrasive. And the second you lose, this is what's going to happen. We haven't seen the worst of it because this is the digital era. Trolling and that kind of behavior is 10 times worse than it used to be because it's harder to get away from. Everything is digital now. If you get, if somebody,
but she's not that popular to even just get like an Adrian Broner style troll. Like she's not about to get the backlash like Broner did against Maidana because she's just not that popular. Like let's just be honest.
But let's go back to like the moment when Darrell's uncle punched what's his name. She said nothing was wrong with that. She had her kid.
It's not even.
Bro, that's some. I mean, but that's some street shit. That's some street shit. How many?
JC, what I'm trying to say. Hold on. What I'm trying to say is this. I agree with you that she wasn't that popular beforehand, right? But this Abby Montez girl, right? Now they're gonna know her as the woman that beat the quote unquote GOAT, and they're gonna use that as a platform to launch Abigail. So even if Clarissa wasn't really popping like that, even if she wasn't really popping like that or popular like that, what you think the marketing is going to be now? I beat a double gold medalist, double Olympic gold medalist, unified, undisputed champion boxer in my third pro fight. That's what they're going to say.
Now, can I rebuttal?
There's no rebuttal to have. What's the rebuttal to that?
Bro. First of all, that Montez girl, she was 2-0. She's a prospect. She might never make it to the UFC. That's where the ultimate goal is, right? Clarissa Shields is only doing this, right? I have this argument every week on Free Smoke Friday. I tell people there is not enough money in boxing. So when you have a chance to make some money, you go and take the money. She's not in the UFC because she wants to be, or not in the UFC. She's not in MMA trying to make it to the UFC because she wants to be a legendary MMA fighter. She's doing it because there is no money in women's boxing. And Amanda Nunes and the Ronda Rouseys and the Holly Holmes, they're making some good money. I know Amanda Nunes is for sure, you know what I'm saying? And definitely Ronda Rousey did. Her ultimate goal is to make it to the UFC and have a mega fight against Amanda Nunes.
Now, JC,
I think that's what the ultimate goal is.
Now, JC, right? You're singing to the choir because I said that already. Her goal.
Okay, well, I didn't even hear it. Bro.
Yeah, we've been saying that.
I've been saying that for months, that I don't want Shields in the octagon because she's only there for money. That's not the right reason to beat her.
But why, though? But why?
Bro, can I finish?
She's a warrior.
Bro.
Tonight should show you why. Tonight should show you why.
Amanda Nunes has lost it.
JC, you got to let people talk, bro, because I didn't cut you off when you was talking. I let you make your point. Everybody has their passion. Clarissa's passion is not mixed martial arts. Clarissa's passion is boxing. And where you say there's no money in the sport, now that's not true. Golden Boy got a whole stable of girls right here in the USA. Katie Taylor makes over $1 million a fight, and she's been making that for at least 2-3 years now. There's money. It's when you have a massively abrasive attitude. People don't want to sponsor you. They don't want to touch you. There's things about this woman that you probably don't know from behind the scenes. Like, DAZN didn't want to do no business with her. And they actually let her fight on the platform. She fought Hannah Rankin on the platform. And the whole time I was hoping that DAZN and Matchroom would sign her. Come to find out, because of her entourage and how they behave, they didn't want to deal with her. They didn't want to deal with her. You know what I mean? As far as signing her to the platform, because they did make her offers to fight Savannah. She rejected those offers. That's fine. But it all came to a head with James Ali Bashir when she was supposed to fight Ivana Habazin. Your brother, your sister, all that shit like you wilding. It's not their show. It's not about y'all. What the fuck do you look like punching a trainer in the back of the head? Especially when he's a senior citizen. This is the type of goofy ass shit that has costed Shields opportunities. And people don't realize
we see that all the time, dog.
Oh, so we see trainers getting knocked out by members
of we see street shit. We see street shit in boxing. Motherfuckers come from the streets. Now
when's the
niggas
last time you seen something on that level? Come on, man.
Like, hold up. Didn't they just get mad at Danny Garcia's father because he said nigga? He's a street motherfucker. That's what he grew up in. Right, now they sensitive to the word nigga.
That's not street shit,
No.
It ain't even. Saying nigga is not street.
All right, hold on. First, no, they didn't just, because what you're talking about is from fucking 7 years ago, bro. So no, it ain't.
That's not that, bro.
You
when he
talking about
fought
when
Danny
Angel
Garcia.
Garcia? You talking about Angel
Yes.
Garcia when he fought Keith Thurman, right? What was that?
Yes.
2016, 2017? That
He
ain't
was
just,
he was
bro.
he was
That's
saying
at least.
nigga. He was
That's
saying
at
nigga.
least. That's at least. What does? So you saying that N word, and please don't use that on this platform because I don't endorse that word.
Okay, I respect it.
Second thing is, him saying that is not the equivalent of attacking a senior citizen. You know that he
Nah,
got
but
hit
it's
with a
street
felon.
shit though.
It don't
It's
matter the
street
street
shit.
shit. It don't matter
Come
the
on,
street shit.
man.
You think they
It's
gonna hit
in boxing.
dog? Do you think they gonna hit Angel Garcia with felony assault for saying the N word?
Nah, but shit is happening in boxing like that.
Now you know her brother still doing a little bit of time for that.
Dog, shit like that. I'm not saying hitting a senior citizen is condonable. I'm not condoning that.
I'm
I'm
not
not
telling
condoning
you.
that.
Listen, I'm not telling you that it ain't street shit in boxing. What I am trying to tell you is when you behave how she behaves, and when you
What's wrong with it?
Yo, dog, can I talk?
Bro, we're just having a dialogue. I don't want to listen to these 5 minutes to you lecturing. We're just going back and forth. What's wrong with it?
But I listen to 5 minutes of you trying to tell me street shit is all right.
I'm talking to everybody on the panel, dog.
Let him talk.
Like y'all being hella. I'm listening to the show, motherfuckers on like a personality. There's niggas in boxing doing all type of crazy many shit.
Okay.
Now we don't like her personality.
Now I know that the sponsors don't like her personality. That's why she ain't got them. Why you think Katie? Why you think? Hold on. Now, why you think that her and Katie competed in the same Olympics, medaled in the same Olympics, and Katie got enough sponsors to get 1.5 million?
Katie Taylor's white.
That's the only reason.
Here we go.
I knew he was going to say that. I knew he was going to say that.
You mean tell me race don't matter in boxing? You mean tell me race don't matter in boxing?
You mean to tell me that Clarissa Shields' demeanor don't matter? That's what you trying to tell me.
Okay.
So Conor McGregor has said the same shit, if not worse, and we love him.
And Floyd has said the same shit as Conor.
So what's the problem? So what's the problem?
The problem is
I don't know how you don't see the problem.
Hold on. The problem
is it because she's a woman?
The problem. Now, am I going to get to talk, or am I going to have to mute you and treat you like a child?
Nah, bro. Hey, man, go ahead, man. My bad, bro.
Am I going to have to do that? Because
bro, go ahead, bro.
Floyd is a moneymaker. Conor is a moneymaker. When you a moneymaker, yeah, you can afford to be as eccentric as you want to be, but you a woman in women's boxing in America, which is already a tough sell. To top it all off, a lot of fucking people don't like you. To top it all off, a lot of people don't even want to fucking sponsor you. So you yourself are putting a cap on how much money you can make. It ain't nobody else doing it to you. It's you doing it to yourself.
So it's a lot of money in women's boxing? Is that what? It's not a lot of. Most fighters don't make a lot of money. 75% of boxing, the people is not making a lot of money. You know that.
You know why they don't make no money? Because they can't sell no fucking tickets. That's
Bingo.
Bro, and she's trying to. Bro, the blueprint is either you only gonna be a certain ways in sports, not boxing sports. You're gonna be the All-American guy like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning.
If it was about race, how come black people don't support Clarissa the way they support Floyd?
Bro, first of all, she's not known enough.
Now let me ask a question, right? I do have to ask a question, because if that's the only thing that's preventing Clarissa from making money,
I didn't say the only.
All right, if that's such a hindrance that Clarissa is not making money, because you brought it up, not me, you brought it up. Then why Venus and Serena so successful? They multi-millionaires.
You don't even have
because it's more money. It's more money in tennis. It's more money in tennis than it is women's boxing.
You don't even have to do that. The black athletes, period, make more money than any other race. I think the only guy who probably makes.
Well, that is what. No. I had to make it specific because she's a woman. He brought up two things: that she's a woman and that she's a woman of color. So I'm going to bring up two very successful women of color that are athletes that make substantially more money than Shields. And granted, there's more money in tennis than there is in women's boxing. But to say there's no money in women's boxing, nah, Showtime invested in Clarissa and she blew it for herself. You just don't want to let her take ownership of that. You want her to be a victim. Bro, they put your fights on TV.
I'm not trying to victimize.
No, you are. They put her fights on TV, bro. She had several fights on TV. It ain't nobody's fault if motherfuckers don't want to see that shit. And then when people hear you talk and they don't like you, it's not their fucking job to like you. If they don't like you because of some shit you said, that's just the fucking way it is.
And I get that, but they're not promoting women's sports in general. They don't promote women's sports in general like they do men's. That's not even debatable.
You know why?
The WNBA had a championship. The WNBA had a championship, bro. Bro, the WNBA had a championship parade, and nobody showed up.
You're not. Can I?
I didn't even hear when it was even going to happen.
The UFC does. The UFC promotes women.
You know what?
No. Can I rebuttal that? Okay, so wait, hold up. If you missed the bus, let's say you're trying to ride the bus, you missed the bus. Is it their job to swing around and come pick you up?
No.
Okay, but how does that relate to women's like bring the correlation for me?
You said hold on. You said that the women. You said women's sports are not promoted. You said women's sports are not promoted. The UFC promotes women all the time. I see women on TV all the time for the UFC.
He's talking.
The UFC is led by men. So then they brought women along.
They promote women though. You said they don't promote women's sports. They promote women.
They piggybacked it off of men. That's a man's sport.
Nobody.
The number one demographic. That's a man's sport.
Go in boxing. Trans people.
Go ahead, IQ. I'll go ahead.
Let me say this.
Let me hold on. Let me
get in.
All right, go ahead.
Why aren't women's sports promoted in America? Because the ones who's going to consume sports are men. Men want to consume men's sports and gamble on men's sports. If they put the same amount of money in sports to focus on women, the woman consumer is not going to consume that shit because she wants to watch reality TV. She spends money on shopping. So they're not going to put money up something that they're not going to get a return on. They're going to put that money up to other stuff. Women consume drama and content, not sports. Women consume sports because men do it, and that's whether they're a choice to be around men. So there's no
except in the UFC, right? Except in the UFC, right?
There's no money There's no money in promoting the WNBA like the NBA because men aren't going to be the consumer base to support those salaries.
You are absolutely correct, sir. But just like Homeboy said, the UFC promotes women, and that's where she's trying to get to. To the UFC.
Let me bring it home for you, bro. Now you're looking at Clarissa Shields. Is she a 1 or 2 time gold medalist?
Say that again,
because I forgot.
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
Okay, but looking at Clarissa Shields, she's a gold medalist, right? She coming to the game fresh. She just got off one of her biggest wins in as far as the amateurs, right? She's promoted. Yeah. She's promoted. She got her own documentary on Netflix or whatnot. Now the problem is she's starting to do the eccentric personality thing way too early in her career before she even had a platform. Even when you see the most eccentric fighters there is, they don't usually do this. They don't talk crazy like this before they even got to that platform yet. She refused to fight on DAZN. She turned down Showtime, so one of her biggest fight deals that she could ever make. So the problem is she's digging herself in a deeper hole than what she needed to. The thing is,
but maybe she felt like wasn't enough money, bro.
Hold on. The thing is, she should have took the opportunity when she was there, and now she's backpedaling now, trying to say that most people are not trying to support women fighters. The opposite is true. The thing is, she's not trying to put herself in that position. She made some mistakes. Now she has to reap what she sowed now because she's made those mistakes. So now,
but who's to say those deals was right though? Who's to say those deals was right?
Now hold on. Let me get in on the conversation, please, because I'm pretty sure I know more about this than all of y'all because I've been following the woman's career since she was a goddamn amateur. All right. Yes, it's not a huge amount of money, but Clarissa was still offered more money than 90% of girls that are out there. It's a very small bracket of girls that was making the kind of money that Clarissa was making for a fight, let alone at those weights. I defy you to find me a bunch of girls at 168 making 300 plus of 300,000 a fight. They offering you career high purses that other girls are not getting. You just don't want to accept the reality of your situation. And you're not a big enough ticket seller to have that attitude, to have that demeanor. You got to play the game. She didn't want to play the game. All right, so Showtime dropped you. And your fight ended up on an obscure platform most Americans don't watch. The only reason Boxer picked you up is because they see that Savannah got fans. Not because of you, but you're probably going to give them a hard time about the goddamn money. In boxing, you make what you generate. And if you don't generate a lot of money and a lot of interest, what the fuck you look like feeling entitled?
It ring about that. I got a quick question right quick about that.
She's not feeling entitled. She went to...
Hold on, real quick. I mean, just about that. Like, do you think that this is going to affect what happens to the Marshall fight? I mean, because do you think she's going to have a bad headspace going into that fight now?
I'm gonna say this, and I said it at the beginning of the show. We're gonna find out because it's not losing a fight ain't shit, especially in MMA. Motherfucking Conor had losses. Shevchenko got a loss to Munoz, a controversial loss, but she got a loss. You can rebound off a loss if your psychology is right. But to the point that I believe Battle just made, Clarissa's ego got inflated ahead of schedule. You have 10 fights. You don't even fight that much. Kate, you and Katie debuted in the same year. Katie's coming on close to 20 fights. You have about 11. And your ego is out of control. It's out of control. Why are you attacking this Jake Paul YouTube clown? What is the point of that? What's the point of you saying you could beat up Keith Thurman? What's the point of saying you could beat up Jake Paul? Who do you think wants to see you challenge a fucking lightweight when you debuted as a super middleweight? These are the things about Clarissa that push people away. That's why you don't have fans. Now, if you were selling tickets, Showtime probably would have gave you a renewed contract for more money. But you're not selling tickets. You're not generating interest. People don't like your personality, the ones that do know about you. We one of the few motherfucking people, panels, talking about Clarissa Shields. Because most motherfuckers don't even care.
After the first fight, everybody was talking about it. And as far as Showtime, they was already having their own money boxing, you know what I'm saying, problems anyway. So what, like, they shit was all...
Can you tell me the last ratings for her last fight? Because I could tell you.
Nah. Are you talking about the mixed martial arts or boxing?
I'm talking about boxing. I could tell you when her career peaked. I could tell you when her viewership peaked on Showtime and when it declined. And her last fight,
when she fought the Hammer Girl, I think.
Nope, it wasn't that fight. So you gotta let me talk, though. You gotta let me talk. Her last fight brought in 288,000 viewers peak. All right. Now her peak viewership, where she got the most views, was the Hannah Gabriel's fight. So you got a fighter that don't sell tickets. Their fights are getting less and less viewers fight by fight, but you're demanding more money, even though you're not creating more interest. Why would Showtime give you more money?
I mean, to be honest, bro, I don't know what the numbers are, so I can't say that.
Well,
I can just tell you this.
I know what.
Okay, but I can just tell you this, though. I can just tell you this. In women's boxing, it's a low ceiling in women's boxing. That just is what it is. She looking at Nunes as a world star, saying, hey, you don't think her and Dana White had conversations to say, hey, if you can make it on this level, you can be the Floyd Conor. I can get you to a Nunes fight. Just make it to this level. I think that's what her ultimate goal. She's a fighter. That's what fighters do. Floyd was too old to learn some mixed martial arts. So I can't knock her to say, hey.
I understand that you saying that she had behind closed doors conversations with Dana White, and that's all well and good. But Nunes created interest. Clarissa didn't.
Yeah, but Nunes created interest off the back of Ronda Rousey. It ain't like, she put the work in and got there. And Clarissa put the work in boxing.
Nunes built more of a notoriety when she knocked out Cyborg.
Yeah, because UFC is, for some reason, it's bigger than boxing.
No, that's
bigger than women. UFC has done a better job of creating an infrastructure for women's MMA. The talent pool's deeper, and the amateur.
I can't necessarily say the talent pool's deeper.
The talent pool in women's MMA is deeper. It's worldwide, and they're developing. They're developing women's MMA in America more than the USA boxing program is developing women's boxing.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. There were
and you're proving my point that I made earlier.
There were several misconceptions with what you just said. For starters, UFC is only bigger than boxing in America, not around the world. That's the first thing. I defy you to show me.
Yeah, but she's from Brazil.
Well, that's awesome, but you just said UFC is bigger than boxing. You should have scaled that down to the United States, not around the world, because there's way more money in boxing than there is in the UFC. That's a given. The UFC is just one promotion.
She's a global star because it's a bigger sport.
Because she did her thing, but that doesn't make UFC a bigger sport than boxing.
No,
the numbers say so.
Hold on. All right, so show me which UFC fighter this year is going to fight in a $100 million fight.
I mean, bro, you're looking at the one fight. None. To be honest, I honestly can't tell you that. Because
hold on, no. We're not, because you're skipping over a lot of what you're saying and you're not defending it. You're not defending
none of them.
Jake Paul makes more money.
That's fine. Then none.
Jake Paul makes more money than your average UFC fighter, and he is a parody of a boxer.
Absolutely.
He's not even a real boxer. He's a parody of a boxer.
Absolutely.
Right?
But it's easier to box. It's easier to box than it is to go to UFC.
It's easier to box. Have you boxed?
It's easier to get into boxing. You see people on the street.
When you make an assessment like that, I hope you're speaking from a place of experience. Do you do boxing and UFC and MMA?
Bruh. No, I do boxing here in my city in Sacramento, California. Okay, I'm telling you, it's easier to get into. It's cheaper.
At what level?
I mean, I just go to the gym. I just go to the gym. I'm not trying to be. I'm 38, bro. I ain't trying to be no motherfucker boxing.
So when you tell me that it's easier to box, you're coming from a place of inexperience.
No, it's easier to get into. Okay, let me preface my statement. It's easier to get into boxing than it is to get into the UFC.
To get into the UFC, which is a major promotion.
I mean, to mixed martial arts. I'm sorry. I make a blanket statement for UFC. It's all mixed martial arts. It's easier to start boxing than it is to mixed martial arts.
Here we go again. UFC is not all mixed martial arts. There are several.
I know. I just throw a blanket statement.
Well, that's what that is. That's a blanket statement that's baseless because there are several smaller fighting federations that are easy to get into if you want to.
But I'm not. I know that. I'm just saying. I use UFC as MMA, bro.
You can't say that you know that when you just said the opposite of that. You just said
Bruh, because I'm not sitting here trying to parse my word like you're parsing my words. I use UFC in general conversation for MMA. That's just kind of how I talk amongst my, my friends and my peers over here.
Well, then you talk amongst your friends and your peers inaccurately because there's K1, there's Risen, there's
I know that.
There's a bunch of fighting federations
I know that
you can get into much easier than you can get into the UFC.
But most people have never heard of the smaller ones. So when I say UFC,
it's not my job to worry about how most people talk.
Bruh, but are we sitting here talking about my exact words or what I'm talking about?
Yes, literally.
Like, if you want to get into a nitpick conversation, and let's be wordsmiths, then bro, we could be wordsmiths, my nigga.
If you tell me that it's easier to get into boxing than UFC or mixed martial arts,
my nigga,
then MMA, I'm gonna ask you, what is that based on?
Most people never heard of Pride. Most people never heard of K1.
I'm gonna ask you what is that based on? You making inaccurate statements. You making inaccurate statements about shit you don't know nothing about. You making inaccurate statements about shit you don't know nothing about. What you want to do, what you want to do,
financially cheaper, nigga. You wrong, nigga. You.
All right, first off, what you want to do is talk about shit you don't know nothing about. You don't know nothing about Clarissa Shields' numbers. You don't know nothing about her ratings, but you want to sit here and cry her fucking river. So how the fuck you sound?
It's the race car, bro. It's the race car. That's all it is.
Can I say something, Mike? Can I say something, Mike?
This guy glass warmed up, man. He needs.
Hold on. Let me preface. Let me get in on this shit. This dude does not follow. No. This dude don't follow Clarissa Shields' career because I'm giving you facts and stats about the woman's career because I followed it and you fucking didn't. But you want me to have to sit here and have a debate with you about the shit when you haven't done none of the legwork. UFC is not all a mixed martial arts. In other parts of the world, there are other fighting federations. Russia has their own fighting federations, not exclusive to the UFC. Japan has their own fighting federations, not exclusive to the UFC. The whole of fucking Europe has fighting federations, not exclusive to the UFC.
MMA doesn't make more than boxing worldwide, only in America.
But I'm supposed to sit here and stomach baseless comments from a guy who's arguing on Clarissa's behalf and he doesn't even follow her fucking career. Bro, this is not your fucking platform. If you want a platform, then go fucking get one where you can talk over people. But over here, you're not going to say all that bullshit and I'm not going to ask you about it. You're not a boxer. You're not an MMA fighter, but you telling me it's easier to get into boxing. What is that based on when you're neither of those things?
Boom.
Okay, we can move on. Honestly, I think he's just high on Clarissa Shields and he wants to see her prosper. She can,
but he doesn't know. Like, I follow more Clarissa Shields and I'm not a fan of her.
Yeah,
I know her numbers.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
I know her ratings.
I want to see her prosper too. Like,
she's lucky. She's lucky that
Can
they
I say
offered her
something,
$300,000.
Go ahead.
Can I say something, Mike?
Go ahead, Sheldon. Go ahead, Sheldon.
I'm gonna say this, man. And we all know this from living in the real world, right? People who have money, who control these platforms like Showtime, PFL, any of these big major platforms, UFC, all of that, they are not gonna put money behind you if people don't like you.
Period. Because that's what it's all about.
They're in the business
To add
make
to that,
money.
if you're not
Hold
making
on.
By the way,
To
Hold on.
lose
Let
it.
Shelton finish. Hold on, Shelton. Go ahead. Keep
They're
going.
in the business to make money, not to lose it.
Now I'm
Putting money behind Clarissa Shields, who has a terrible personality. Nobody likes her. Nobody wants to work with her. Is a losing proposition. That's
Yes.
why she doesn't have a platform right now.
Yes. I'm gonna add to I'm a piggyback off of what Shelton said, and I'm gonna say this: people that are not used to making money always expecting somebody to give them some shit. But when you used to having money, used to spending money, used to balancing a budget, used to being ahead of your household, used to having a business of some kind, even if we talking about nickel and diamond on the street, when you understand money, you understand why people don't get behind her. She's a money pit. If you pour a bunch of money into her career, she ain't gonna be able to bring it back to you because people don't fucking like her. And you can't force people to like her. You can't, it don't work like that. You can have 3 gold medals. You can have 3 gold medals. You can have 4. When people don't like you, they don't fucking like you. And you need to have some accountability and ask yourself, why is it that people are so put off by me? Because at some point, as an entertainer in the entertainment business, whether you tell jokes or throw punches, people are your bread and butter. And if they don't fuck with you, you need to start asking yourself certain questions.
To even piggyback
Can
off
I- can I
that,
say
man,
something real quick,
to
though?
piggyback off that, like people don't like her enough to care and want to see her lose, like Floyd. She's
Can I say
irrelevant.
something real quick though? I noticed you guys had a conversation where the guy asked, well, he didn't ask, he actually said that out of his mouth that it's not a lot of women that just choose to watch boxing. That's the reason why the sport isn't doing so well as far as women in boxing, because there's not a lot of women in women's boxing, which is what he said. And I think there was one guy who said that, you know, women prefer to watch, you know, reality TV. Are we like, I don't know how Katie Taylor's fan base work. I don't know how what's another big one? I'm trying to think of some other name, but
I'm gonna put it to
That
you
was me.
another
That was me who
way.
said so. I
Listen,
worked in
listen.
entertainment. I worked.
Battle. Let me put it to you this way. None of what the guy said can be qualified because he hasn't done no legwork to verify those statements. A lot of the people that I talk to that are very big on Katie Taylor, and I've talked to a lot of people over the years because I've been watching Katie since she went pro. A lot of them are women. They're not men. They're women. All right. A lot of them that I've spoken to
so
over the years.
my
So what I'm
question
saying, no, Battle, let me get to my point. What we're talking about is an American demographic. We're not talking about a world demographic because I'm pretty sure that in Ireland, Katie's biggest supporters are women. I'm pretty sure that across the pond and across the Atlantic Ocean, her biggest supporters, a lot of them, they're women. So what he's saying is not happening is happening. It's just not happening in America. And it's not happening for Clarissa. But why? Because people don't like you. You're not likable.
Yeah. Let me add to that because I said this stuff about the reality TV. You could check my LinkedIn resume. I worked at NBC Universal for 2 years. I saw the demographic breakdowns, the analytics. In America, the general consensus of what women consume with content on any type of screen, they consume scripted and non-scripted content. They're the lowest demographic in consuming live sports.
well, like here's my thing. I wasn't,
and that's the point. So the networks cater to, okay, this is what women consume. We're going to put more content in that so they can be consumers of that. This is what men consume.
Can I say something to that? Look, I wasn't bringing that up to like pick on you or anything. No.
I didn't take it that way.
I was going to ask the question of like, what is it that? How do I put this? Okay, so the lack of fans behind most of these fighters obviously is just because they're not getting the publicity, right? And my thing is, how do you promote these women to other women? And that's what kind of boggles my mind, because I know this is not a panel full of women, but I have to ask the question anyway because it's on the table now. So,
Battle, let me answer your question. Because it's not hard. And I know that they're doing it across the pond. They're just not doing it here. American women seem to want to be in competition with men, and that's the difference. You don't see Katie Taylor. You don't see Katie Taylor saying, I could beat a man. I can beat Vasil Lomachenko. You don't see that. Only American women have this shit going on in their brain to where they think they're in competition. And that's not competition. We're parallels. You know, yin and yang, shit like that. All right, that's what it really is. But only in America do you have a double Olympic gold medalist say, "Oh yeah, I could beat Keith Thurman. Yeah, I could beat motherfucking Triple G." Remember she said that? I could beat Triple G. I could beat motherfucking.
And it's not only boxing. It's remember Brittany Griner came out talking about she can hoop in the NBA with the men. Like I could hoop on LeBron and shit like that.
And let me say this also. Wait. Before we make it a thing about, oh, it's only Clarissa and it's only a demographic thing. No, Rhonda was running around saying she could beat Floyd. Only American women do this goofy shit. And remember what Drew said. Wait, Leo. Wait, I'm not done.
Okay.
Remember what Drew said. The biggest consumers of sports are who? Men. Do you think men want to be undermined as the biggest consumers of sports by... and it's not misogyny, but it's taken as an assault. Everything in life is cause and effect. You know, no one's bound to their nature. Do you think men want to hear that shit? No. And we consume sports more than anybody. So, but do you think men want to hear that shit? Why don't you have a PR person that pulls you to the side and tells you that is a stupid thing to say? You're putting off people. You're putting off fans. You need to be nicer. I know that in an ideal world, you can be who you are and everybody's going to love you. But guess what? This is not an ideal world. And when people hear that, they don't fucking like you. They wish you would get a Triple G fight so you could find out how fucking fast. No, you won't be Triple G. I'm sorry, but nah, you won't. You wildin'.
You want to know? This sounds like the equivalent of Ring. It sounds like the equivalent of the rap game. As far as the female rappers trying to claim themselves better than the men rappers when it's predominantly male, it kind of turns people off.
I don't equate that because music is different. It is entirely possible in my mind for a lyricist, a female lyricist, to be better than a male lyricist. And
I get it. I truly get that. It's just that it's coming from a game where it's predominantly male.
Let me just say this. I think Doja Cat has more talent in her pinky finger than most of these male rappers and most of these male artists that are out here today.
Well, no. I get.
Who was that? Hold on. Who was that?
Okay.
Doja Cat.
Okay.
Yeah, she can rap. Yeah, she's good.
Okay.
It's different in rapping because in rapping,
Leo, go ahead.
Let me say this.
Go ahead, Leo.
Okay. I'm kind of tired about this sexist conversation. There is sexism in boxing. Yeah. There is sexism in everywhere. Yeah. Do you drink water, Julius? Everyone drinks water. Everyone breathes air.
I breathe air.
Yeah. Sexism is a real thing. For me, I don't have really a problem about hair talking shit. The problem for me is the lack of substance. Look, Mike Tyson got beat by Buster Douglas. Yeah, become the undisputed world champion of the world. What happened after that?
He lost
to Holyfield. Everyone was talking about Holyfield. Oh, he's the best of the world. No, because he had to beat Mike Tyson first. And for me, Clarissa Shields lacks that signature win, that signature victory in his record, or a real resume. He doesn't have it. Is their division have lack of talent? Maybe. Yeah, we can say that. But the opportunity presents, and you are talking about money. It's like, look, if Clarissa Shields is conducting these negotiations on her behalf, I don't see I don't see her getting any money of that, really.
Well, the problem.
First, let me read the.
Can I talk?
Wait. First, let me read the super chats because they're piling up. Shields will have to decide between MMA and boxing at some point. Can't do both. Difference is an early loss in MMA doesn't set you back the same. That is 100% true. What's the problem? If you don't market yourself to an audience you are catering to, you will not make money. This is true in all forms of business too. Look at Eminem's rise to fame. If you think I'm lying, I'll say this much, and then I'll pass it to Battle. Sports are the entertainment business, and a lot of people have a misconception that because you're in sports that people are supposed to like you anyway based on something someone else did. And what I mean by that is I've never liked Conor McGregor, right? I never liked him. In his heyday, I didn't like him. I never liked Ronda either, right? But there are people who did like Ronda and her shit talking, and there are people who did like Conor and his shit talking. And those same people, they might not like Clarissa's shit talking for whatever reason. It is not their job or obligation to like her, period. They might like something, maybe they like Ronda's ass. Maybe they like Conor's tattoos. Maybe they find Ronda and Conor more relatable. But one thing that we need to be perfectly clear on is it's not anybody's job to like you. It's not. You are not owed patronage. You are not owed friends. You're not owed none of that. And that's why it's entitlement. Oh, you think if you bring up Ronda and Conor and their shit talking, that's going to get her fans? It's not. It's not. Oh, Floyd used to talk shit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. None of it matters. People either like you or they don't. And in this business, you better try to get them to like you. Try to get them to watch your fight. You're in a sport that most Americans don't watch. You have a massive abrasive personality, and you think you're helping your situation. You're not.
And it's not the network. It's not the network's job to promote you. That's your promoter and your publicist's job.
It's so weird that they think it's so many athletes today that think, well, if I put the work in my and as far as my skills, as far as improving my jump shot, improving my footwork, getting a better wrap up on my tackles, or juking this guy out of his shoes or something like that, that's enough. The thing is, usually it's not enough. Like we have situations where, like, let's look at Frank Gore, for example. The guy has literally been. He's one of the greatest running backs we have. The guy's been putting on yards after yards after yards after yards. But who's talking about Frank Gore? Nobody.
Nobody. Let's not even go to another sport, bro. Let's stick to boxing. Teofimo Lopez thought that because he beat Vasil Lomachenko that the world was his oyster, and it wasn't. All right.
Despite the fact he never fought on pay-per-view.
Can I expand on that real quick?
Hold on. Guillermo Rigondeaux was once the #1 premier super bantamweight in the world after beating Nonito Donaire. Did that get him fans? No.
It did not.
No. All right, go ahead, Virtuoso.
Okay, I kind of agree with what Leo's saying right there, but I'm gonna come from a meritocratic standpoint. See, I saw T Street controversy, and shout out to T Street, retweet Showbiz on Twitter about a tweet about compare the accomplishments of Vasily Lomachenko and Clarissa Shields, and he kind of just said like, "Yo, this dude's tripping" or something like that. It's like, well, Showbiz responded and said like, "Yo, well, my daughter's my inspiration," and see, right then and there, he told him like, "Okay, oh, so your standpoint is like, oh, you're kind of like, it's personal to you." No, it's boxing. But if you're gonna talk boxing, right, you're gonna have to apply like really, really good logic that pretty much self-explains that biologically it's not the same thing. You know what I mean? Well, no, you cannot compare a woman to a man in terms of that.
Look, I'm gonna say this. No,
the way they move. I'm gonna say no.
Let me do this. Let me do this. All right. There's a lot of fucking guys out there that don't know how to fight, man. Like I've seen guys before I left New York. The night before I left New York, I was outside with my people. I seen a dude getting his ass beat by a chick in the street. It's not cap. Before I left New York,
we know y'all from New York to know how to throw, man. What that's
I'm just trying to tell you that. Look, the idea that a chick could beat the shit out of dude, that ain't cap. That's not fantasy. I seen that, man. I seen a lot of motherfuckers get their ass beat because they just don't know how to fight. All right, period. It's a lot of motherfuckers that in life that they literally do not know how to fight.
But I'm talking about performance in the ring. I'm talking about performance in the ring.
And what I'm saying, where does
that? Her style, like to me, it's not really catching the fans' attention.
All I'm telling you is, look, it's not even the concept of a man beating a woman. It's your character. It's that you're an annoying fucking person that nobody likes. People would be able to stomach you if you didn't behave that way. You understand? That's what it's all about. It ain't about her being boring. Look, it's a lot of boring motherfuckers out there. But yeah, I get their money. Floyd was boring at one point to some people, but he was still making money, so it can't be that. It's your personality. If Floyd, you know how many you could spit in the wind and hit a motherfucker that'll tell you, man, Floyd is boring. Yeah, but he still made a lot of money, so it can't be that. It must be something else. You know what it is? People don't fucking like you, yo. They don't like you. You talk, you got 10 fights. You think the world supposed to bend over for you? You wildin'. You wildin'. And you don't hear a Katie. You don't hear a Chantel Cameron. You don't hear a motherfucking, you don't hear Ellie Scottney. You don't hear none of these other women saying this goofy ass shit that you saying. You don't hear Savannah Marshall, Hannah Gabriels, Oxandia. You don't hear none of them saying none of that goofy ass shit that you saying. You the only goof. The only goof. Yeah, I beat Keith Thurman. Yeah, I beat Triple G. Yeah, I beat Jake. You sound like a fucking idiot. Even if you really feel that, you know that I feel some type of way sometimes, but because I'm older, I know to measure my words. Everything doesn't need to be said, all right? But when you shoot off at the mouth like that and bump your gums, motherfuckers gonna be like, yo, this fucking broad is a fucking annoying, B. Shut the fuck. I can't wait for you to get your ass beat. I can't wait.
Yeah.
You don't shut the fuck up.
Can I say something to that?
Actually, that might actually work to her advantage, you know? She might be so fucking like loud and obnoxious. Then it might catch people's attention and then play that up.
Can I say something to that?
Is that
go ahead, Sean.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
What you just said is the way a lot of people think. It's the way I think. I can't wait for you to get your ass whooped because you talk too much.
Yeah.
You talk too much.
People might have to hate watch you. Huh.
She just got her ass whooped.
Okay.
But people don't even.
Okay.
She's
so
not
now,
right.
Honestly, I don't pity her. I don't feel sorry. I don't feel sorry for her.
So now, wait a minute. So now, let's see how she responds. Let's see if she has some humility after this ass whooping.
Now, this is what I said at the beginning of the show. This is what I said at the beginning of the show. That what happens now will determine what happens in the rest of her career, because it's not losing a fight. You could lose a fucking fight, man. Losing a fight ain't shit. It's how you deal with the loss, how you deal with the trolls. Because the reason so many people are trolling you, if you're gonna grow, then you're gonna have to accept that the reason so many people are attacking you is because of you. It's not because of nothing else.
If you're gonna grow, eat some crow.
Eat some crow.
Okay.
Just put that on the shirt.
I want to say this. If you want to be the villain, el villano, the ill, it's okay. You can do that. But you have to wait for the hero, the guy who's going to pose to you. And sometimes you go to wait a long time. You can maybe stay in that division, win fights, and then here comes that Savannah Marshall, for example. And you can hype that fight and get $1.5 million for that fight. But you have to wait. But you want to be a heel with no hero to oppose you, you're just fucking annoying.
And that goes back to what I said a year ago, literally a year ago in 2020. I said that Clarissa Shields has a heel archetype, right? So when you have a heel archetype, that only works if you have someone to bounce it off of. The only person she has to bounce it off of is Savannah Marshall. But at that time, offers were made to Clarissa to do the fight, and she turned them down because she didn't like the money. And I know it's more money than you could have made doing anything else, but you turned it down. Why'd you turn it down? Because of your fucking ego. You're not a ticket seller. You're not a big ratings getter. You're not none of that. You don't want to accept that, but it's the truth. Regardless of who comes on here and argues, regardless of how people feel on Twitter, I know the numbers, man. I've been following her career from the beginning. And I know, like, yo, her numbers was going down. Why? Because she's boring. Because she's boring. And because people don't fucking like her. And you could try to guilt trip and whataboutism the shit all motherfucking day. Nobody on this planet is obligated to suffer you. Nobody. You're annoying.
Did anybody see the fight?
Look.
How many pay-per-views did she sell on that pay-per-view? IQ?
Nobody knows, but I know that the number that they put out there, nobody knows, but the number because the number was never officially put out there, but the
Right.
number that I saw unofficially was under 100,000. I think it was like 50, if that. And I was one of that 50, by the way.
I was
bought the
too.
fucking fight.
I paid the $29 for it.
Okay, look at Golovkin. It's not the same thing, but look at Golovkin. You stay in that division, in the middleweight division. It's not, if you're not a Maravilla Martinez, it's going to be a Cotto. Okay, if you're not a Miguel Cotto, it's going to be a Canelo. Somewhere is going to come up to you to make you the kind of money you want. But you have to wait. You have to wait.
And after
And when Canelo came to the middleweight division, you didn't hear Golovkin say, no, the money was too low, they are low volume. No.
He took 30%.
He took the money.
He took 30%.
Yeah.
It was a 70-30 split for the first fight. 70-30. Whereas you got and not to go into other things, but that's a perfect example. Golovkin made himself someone to pursue by acquiescing to being the B-side. That I'm not Canelo. I can't come in here asking for 50%. What did Wilder do? Ask for 50%. So you could get your ass beat for less money. Congratulations.
Nice job.
Man.
Nice job.
Good job.
Hey, what's going on with Mark? Why can't Mark get in?
Oh, I didn't even see, bro. I didn't even see him.
Man, Ring, I'm telling you.
Hey, go ahead, IQ. I'll dip. Let Mark go jump on the panel. I'll dip. Catch you fellas later.
All right. Now, what I'm gonna say,
You're ring. I'm gonna jump off too. I'm gonna let Mark jump in as well. So.
I bet. What I'm gonna say is, I don't think that it's the end of the world that she lost the fight, because I think she looked all right. I honestly didn't think she looked bad until the fight ended up on the ground. She didn't look bad. She didn't look out of place. But because of her demeanor, you're going to have an army of people now that probably didn't give a fuck when she was winning, that all of a sudden give a fuck when she's losing. Why? Because these are people that didn't like you. There's a lot of people that don't like you. Mark, what do you think about it?
That was very unfortunately worded, or very well worded. There's a lot of people who don't like you, Mark.
Oh shit. What do you think about the shit?
What up, Mark?
Yo, first of all, who was the person who specified me not being on the panel? Whoever did that, I appreciate you massively.
Oh, yeah, you welcome.
I appreciate you massively. Secondly, shout out to everybody in the chat. Go through the chat, Julius. It's just a spam of "We Want Mark." Do you understand?
I had it on the banners. I had it on the banners tab because I was toggling between banners. You know what I mean?
You have a super chat saying give the link to Mark that you had on the screen for 5 minutes.
Yo, dog, I was busy arguing with your man that want to fucking argue.
I'm telling you, like, you would drop, like, sometimes StreamYard be acting crazy. It'll be times where I accidentally push the leave button and I'll be in the backstage for like.
And then all of a sudden you transform to a different dimension where you're inside fighting with Buster Douglas, yeah, Val?
Man, please stop bringing
all I'm going to say about this shit is this. It's like, yo, dog, you could do that virtue signaling, which is only really popular on the internet, because in real life, when motherfuckers don't fucking care, motherfuckers don't care, right? You can have guys on the internet that want to argue about how Clarissa should be this and that, and you could do that shit, but at the end of the day, what don't make dollars don't make sense. She don't make dollars.
Yo,
man,
Jake,
Jake Paul is making her more relevant by tweeting her.
Exactly.
Damn. So I heard that she lost, right? In a somewhat competitive fight, right? I haven't actually seen the fight yet. I need to be honest. But as far as the backdrop about all of the hate she's getting, certain people are saying she doesn't deserve it. Other people are saying she does. When you cultivate a level of hate and everything around your persona, when you lose, you're going to be set up for a much larger fall. That's just reality.
That's just
if you're a dickhead to every person around you and you mess up, they're going to be laughing their asses off when you fall the fuck down.
The justification for this seems to be that, oh, well, there have been other assholes that they were very successful. And
yes,
I say this,
like who?
No, and it is the truth that Mike.
But which assholes? Name the assholes.
Mike Tyson was an asshole, right? Floyd
yeah, and when he fell, and when Mike Tyson fell, right, The people who didn't like Mike, you remember this, Jay, right? How much did they fucking laugh and mock him for that?
Zach, look. Floyd didn't even.
Who's mouth breathing like a sex predator?
Yeah, like Floyd was just
shit.
Floyd was just in an exhibition match, right? This is how much people fucking hate him. He's just in an exhibition match, and people were waiting for him to lose, and they tried to correlate Logan Paul going the distance in an exhibition match to Floyd losing, because when people don't like you, that is what happens. And you can't have this kind of personality and expect people to feel sorry for you. Now, I'm not saying Clarissa expects people to feel sorry for her. I don't know what Clarissa expects. What I know is that there are people who expect other people to feel sorry for her. And I don't feel sorry for you, wilding. For what? You had every opportunity to turn things around. When Tyson Fury was an asshole in the UK, what did he do? He came to America and he became a mental health advocate. He is so user-friendly now. He don't say nothing bad no more.
Bro,
This is the difference between like I was talking about how every single YouTube short was a pitch of what picture? It was a video of Tyson Fury walking down the beach as, yeah, man, I'm mentally sane now. I lost my mind, but if I lose, I don't need the money. I told a guy, it was going on for months.
Look,
go ahead.
Look, I'm gonna say something that might be controversial. I'm happy she lost.
Me too.
I don't like her. I don't like Clarissa. I don't like her. I should like her because she's talented, right? And she seems to be very charismatic, and her ring entrances are cool as shit, right? But I don't like her because she's a bitch.
A big bitch.
And
don't forget a big bitch, bro.
Listen,
but she is though. She treat people like shit, and she acts like she's better than everybody.
Yeah, she is.
I can't gravitate towards that, bro.
Me neither, man. Me neither, bro. Now, if she was hot, bro, like extremely hot, and then she was a bitch, I'll be like, but she's hot, you know what I mean? But no, bro, she's just one ugly bitch.
LT, hold up,
bro. That's what she is. She's just one ugly bitch, man.
Oh shit! Now I didn't mean to set this off like that. I was talking.
Let me just say this.
Yeah, Julius, champ the shit. Julius, champ the shit, man.
Let me say this real quick, Julius. Okay. All right, go ahead.
I'm kind of with LT. You can't act like you have it like that, and then you don't. And I'm sorry, but that's life, bro. Like that's fuck boxing. That's life. You can't act like you got it like that, and you don't.
In the professional wrestling business, it's called heat, right? Mayweather had heat. I've seen people punch holes through the fucking TV, bro. Clarissa Shields has fucking go away heat. Like, please, like I don't want to see you. Like, just go away. That's the type of thing. That's the type of vibe she has. Like, nah. The way you talking to people, and it's like, yo, you're just not gonna gel with people if you keep talking all that bullshit. It's like, yo, you can't measure your accomplishment with Lomas, and it's like, nah.
Hit the like button, everyone. I don't care about what the like button, everyone. Hit the like button. Hit the fucking like button.
Let me say this. Listen, right? All the shit aside, right? There's too much. Nobody say nothing. There's too much bad publicity there. There was a video of Clarissa at an amateur tournament where she's attacking one of the amateurs' fucking parents, right? Where she's giving them a verbal tongue lashing. That's one, like, yo, dog, you an Olympian. Show some grace. Nah. Then there's the shit with your brother attacking Ali Bashir. Ali Bashir is damn near 70 or some shit. That's an old ass man, right? There's that. There's the fiasco at the Zone that most people don't know about, that her entourage, that's why the Zone didn't want to really fuck with her, right? There's that. Then there's your fucking mouth. Nobody on this planet has to like anybody. And if that's enough for people not to like you, that's enough for people not to like you. It is what it is. It's not a fair world.
Julius, unfortunately, man, I gotta say this, and this might offend somebody, but like, yo, it must be the water they be drinking, because she's from Flint, Michigan, man. And
bro, you know what it is, bro? It's them steroids she's been taking that she lashes out on social media, man. It's them fucking steroids, bro. Like, she doesn't have anyone to fight with. So she gets online and just lashes at everyone, bro. It's them fucking steroids.
I'll tell you. She retarded. That's it.
You want to know another big issue with Clarissa? The thing is, like, yes, I get it with the deals, but she wasn't fighting nearly enough for people to really pay attention.
Well, no, I blame Showtime for that. I gotta be the level-headed one here. I have to be the level-headed
Ding
one.
dong, the witch is dead.
I gotta be the level-headed one, and I'm gonna say Showtime. No. Let me do this because I do blame Showtime for this, and I'm not gonna go back on my own word. I do feel that the reason she didn't fight as much as Katie is because Eddie made sure that Katie got out there. They debuted the same year in 2016 as professionals. Katie has almost 20 fights. Clarissa's still circling around 10 or 11. If she didn't get out there more, it's because Showtime didn't give her enough slots. But why would Showtime give more slots to a fighter that don't drum up no business? You understand? It all goes back to the same thing. When people don't like you, they don't want to watch you, and they don't give a fuck about you. And the louder you become as a result of that, the more they don't like. God, will this bitch shut the fuck up?
Julius.
Not to mention, bro, she's not an eye candy either, bro. You know what I mean? You know, it's not gonna make a guy turn around twice. You know, oh, look at that. No, bro, she's not appealing. You know what I mean? If you guys catch my drift.
Okay.
All
Jay,
right.
let's talk about fame and infamy for a second, right? Now you're the content creator, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know, the more infamous somebody is for specific things, they're the things that do more numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Now you check your analytics quite regularly because you're up to date on all of that. Now, when it comes to Clarissa Shields' post-fight reviews versus Clarissa Shields saying something supposedly polarizing, right, that she's become known to do, which does more viewership for you?
The comments, easily. The things she says get more attention than her fights.
Her fighting doesn't bring any attention, does it?
No.
Because I tried to talk about her fighting Marie-Eve Decare. I got 90 views on that bitch. That's the lowest I've had since I've had 50 subscribers. The lowest.
Listen, I'm going to tell you what.
That's not good.
Everybody on this channel knows that I report on the women's side of things, right? And everybody
and you want to.
Everybody reacts positively most of the time, except when it's about Clarissa. Literally, except and that's not
bro,
me, bro.
I'm gonna let it out, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Every time you talk about Clarissa in your videos, I hit the dislike button. I'm sorry,
look,
man.
Hey. Nobody's perfect. But I'm keeping
Jake, you should thank them. That helps with the algorithm. That helps with the algorithm, Jake.
Now pay attention to this, right? I've been doing this as far as just reporting on the women's side of things, right? I've been doing that for 4 going on 5 years, and I pay attention, all right? People do not like this person. And for all the whataboutisms that you see on Twitter or YouTube, none of that is going to make people like her, period. Like the guy that was just on here. You can make all them arguments, and these same people still not going to like her. The same people. Because none of that shit matters. What matters is how you behave. What matters is how you treat people. That's what matters.
Do you know when I stopped really being interested in her? Was the day that she said she could knock out Gennady Golovkin.
Because it's silly, bro.
But I stopped liking her there. I really started to. Hold on, Battle. I really started to dislike her when she started comparing her 3-way accomplishments. Really started to men when she has a talent pool of 60 fighters she can fight.
I mean, look, I said this earlier.
That's ridiculous, bro.
I said this earlier that only American women have this weird thing to where they're we're not competing with each other. You understand? We're different creatures. You're a girl. This is a guy, and we're not competing with each other. But for some reason in America, there is this unspoken battle of the sexes to where Clarissa's up there saying, "Yeah, I could beat Keith Thurman. I could beat Gennady Golovkin. I could beat Jake Paul." Yo, you got to chill out. You wilding.
Ring, can I say something about that? I never knew how much guys took offense to that until I started being on YouTube. Because I'll never forget, I remember when girls were saying that, girls can beat guys. I kind of just snubbed it off. I wouldn't say much about it. I'd be like, yeah, whatever. But oh my god, like, have you seen the compilation videos of be like guys versus girls? And they be playing, bro. I think there's like a compilation, right? It was like why women deserve less in basketball, right? And it was like a compilation of these women in WNBA. They were trying to shoot a layup, and it was like 6 that missed the layup.
Listen,
Bro, they
Battle.
make
I'm
so
like
many
you,
compilations.
Battle. I'm
They
like
don't
you, like
compare.
I'm
That's
like
where
you
I come
that
from.
I'm like you that I don't. When I heard that, I'm not gonna get offended, but I don't give a shit about that. But I saw how other people, other men, reacted to that shit, and I'm like, see, that's why you don't have fans. That's why I don't give a shit that she said that. If you think that you could beat Keith Thurman, you know what I'm gonna say? Get her Keith Thurman.
Hey, but did you see the video? There was a video. It went viral.
That's what I said.
But Jay, I wanted that. I wanted one of these guys to say, "I'll fight you then." Prove it. I wanted that though, and that's the problem. That creates a really bad divide between men and women real quick. Let me.
Did you see the video?
Bro, why do you want Clarissa to be Ike Turner? Come on, man.
Man,
because she's asking for it. That's called equality. If she want it, give it to her.
Now that's not to be dark or fucked up, but I'm one of these people that at least the way my mind works is give them what they're asking for. You big and bad, right? Go get it then. Go give it a Thurman fight. Give it a Gennady fight.
Hey, just like our parents when we were growing up. Oh, you think you can handle it? All right, go get up in the tree.
Esa es la manera que I was raised. Que, okay, si eso es lo que tú quieres, give him the shit. Give him the fucking shit. So
Ring got cute.
Así es. Oh, ¿tú crees que puedes? Súbete a ver.
Exactamente. Súbete.
I remember when I was 9 years old, I kept complaining that my dad was coming home way too late from work because he was working his ass off, right? And he's like, well, I'm working really hard. And I said, well, anybody could do it. I could do a better job. He took me down there, bro. Within 20 minutes, I was fucking crying. My hands were fucking busted up because he was working on a building site, yo. Like, he was working hard bricklaying, yo. And I'm there, bitch. Oh, bro, I was done. Like, you don't do that shit.
Hey, Ring, did you ever see the video? It went viral. It was this it was average. It was how like average Joe versus college basketball player, right? And this girl, she was facing this one dude. This dude was like fat, short.
The dude was like my original point. Like, yeah.
And basically, this dude beat her in the 1-on-1. And all he was doing was just dropping jump shots. it was so funny. Like I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
I want her to fight battle rifle.
Like I said, I honestly believe, and y'all gonna think I'm capping. I think she could beat Jake Paul in a boxing match. I believe that because
I think he could beat battle rifle.
That might just happen. I think it should have. You know what? Bug that fight.
No, we know that she don't want that battle.
Listen. I honestly believe she probably could beat Jake Paul in a boxing match, right? But if it goes sideways, and you get beat the fuck up, don't think I'm gonna pity you. No,
Jay,
you wanted that.
Bro, Jay, my question mark on that fight. My question mark isn't on that fight. Listen.
I'll pay for that fight, Julius.
She can outbox him. She's a better boxer than him, but his size, his weight, his strength, his actual strength. If he lands on her, turns over a shot, that's going to damage her. Bone density won't equate.
Julius, esa fight de Jake Paul contra Clarissa Shields tiene tanto morbo que sí la compro, Julius. Tiene mucho morbo que sí la compro, carnal.
Te voy a decir, mira, hay una tipa que se llama Lucia Riker. Ella peleó con un macho and she beat him. Right, so
wow.
No, de verdad. It's not
te creo.
So, lo que yo estoy diciendo es, if we really now, once again, it's not coming from a dark place. It's not coming from me wanting her to get her ass beat. It's coming from a place of, as a man, we are all taught as men. We're accountable for the words that come out of our mouth. So we have to measure them. This is literally how we live. At least that's how I live, right? I have to be accountable for what I say and who I say it to. Now, you running around with people's names in your mouth. So give her the Thurman fight. Give her the Golovkin fight. Give her the Jake. Do all of it. And whatever happens, it's on you. because you asked for
They
it.
gonna give them male fighters 20 ounces.
Guys, I have a question. I have a question. Do you think in, let's say, boxing in general, there is this thing that you can appreciate female boxing, but when the time comes when female boxers against male boxers, people in the public, mostly men, says know your place. Know your place. What you are asking for.
You know, Julius, I wanted to ask this that guy you had an argument with.
What I'm saying?
Yeah, let me address Theo's comment. I disagree with that mentality. I do, because the girls, they don't get as much as the guys do, but they're putting in work, and they don't even get as much as the guys do for putting in that work. And a lot of these girls take Marie McGee, who's about to fight Chantel Cameron this weekend. This woman hasn't fought in a year, right? If that were a man, the way that these men are behaving, he wouldn't have took the fight. Unification match after a year layoff? No, not unless their layoff is longer than mine. No, I'm not taking the fight. But Mary's taking the fight, and I appreciate that, because that shows, that person has heart taking on this fight. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you got heart. And it's a lot of that. So I appreciate that, and I'm not with that, oh, you got to know your place. It's not knowing your place. Equality means equal. So you're subject to the same things. You got to sell tickets like I got to sell tickets. What you make for a fight is determined by what you generate, the same way it's determined by what I generate. It's not different. So when you don't move tickets, it's not that people aren't being nice to you. When your fight don't get watched, it's not that people ain't being nice to you. It's that's the business, bro. That's the business. Where you saying that, oh yeah, I should be getting more. Look, Regina Halmick, long before you ever put on boxing gloves, Regina Halmick millions in Germany.
A Regina Halmick reference. I love it.
But it's the truth. Well, before you even decided to go pro, Cecilia Breakers sold out 10,000 seats fighting Sophie Ann Mathies. Now you want to make
pay-per-view in Norway.
Pay-per-view in Norway on Viaplay. I think it was Viaplay or Viastat or whatever the fuck it's called. So it's Viaplay. It's not that it can't be done. It's not that it can't be done. It's that you want to be a victim, and most people, you're not a victim. You're not a victim. Your problem is people don't like you.
And Julius, I just wanted to point out, I wanted to ask this dude that you fucking kicked out, you had an argument with, a couple of questions. Number one, are you a feminist? And number two, do you think that trans women should be allowed to be competing in combat sports? And I'm pretty certain, listen to me, I'm pretty certain that the second one, he would have said no. And I would have fucking crashed Sam this motherfucker and called this thing a transphobe. Because that's how I would take it. Because like this guy is playing like both sides, like he's trying to blur the lines, talking about street shit, and I'm like, you can't do that, man. Like,
a lot of people. I'm gonna tell you what. A lot of people think that street shit, the world don't give a fuck, and the reason that you think that the world give a fuck, you know why? It's because you're not out in the world. When you get out in the world, you're gonna realize your street shit and your stories don't mean shit to nobody but you.
This dude was like he was like self-contradictory. Like you're talking about street shit, and then you're talking about, oh, Clarissa should get more attention and all this. And I'm like, bro, you're virtue signaling, and you don't even follow his advice.
I talk about these guys all the time. That you think the only thing you got one thing in common with this woman, because you're not a boxer, you're not a gold medalist, you're not in combat sports at all. You got one thing in common with this woman, and we all know what it is. And you think now, wait a minute. Now, you think that because you got one thing in common with this person that I'm supposed to give a fuck? I'm going to let you in on a secret. I don't give a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares.
What pisses me off is when he talking about she don't get money and she ain't got no sponsors.
I mean, I sure don't.
So like when you like just to bring it back real quick to what Showbiz said, and I'm like, yo, listen. Okay, your daughter's your inspiration. Why you had to say that, silly stuff about comparing Loma to Christian and all that stuff. Okay, the world don't give a fuck about what your daughter thinks. Most of them think you shouldn't know shit about boxing. I didn't want to say that, but like I kept it to myself, and I'm like, bro, you can't judge with emotions, man. Like this is not.
Because
come on, man, it's just science.
I'm telling you, this mentality.
Logic.
This mentality is exclusive to Americans because America as a society and as a populace has adopted this feel sorry for me mentality that my generation don't have. My generation is pull yourself out. Your generation is come here and pity me. Pity me. That's what that's the generation that we in now. And
You
I'm
know what
thinking
was my real heel turn? It was the thing with the Ali Bashir, man, and the way she acted to it, reacted. It's like she didn't.
That's
I
fair.
didn't feel like she had that much sympathy. And like the thing about what really bugs me is like, yo, you're already hateable, but yet you use your identity cynically to gain an advantage on people. Like, oh,
no,
because I'm
because
black and
she's
I'm a
look,
woman,
look,
I'm mad disrespected. Nah, nah, nah. It ain't gonna work.
that's
It don't
not
work like that.
why. Because people love Natasha. Look, Natasha, right? And I love Natasha.
Yeah,
I like
Thomas.
Natasha. I like
I,
Natasha.
I love
yeah, she's
Natasha.
likable.
Even when she lost, I was still rooting for her. Even when she looked her
Big
first loss,
forehead and all.
even when she got knocked out, all of that, right?
But
So
Vivian, right?
yeah, and it's not what you're saying it is. What you're trying to do is guilt trip people into groveling, and that is not gonna work. You could bring up all
It's not.
like you could have the guy that came on here just now talk your stupid street stories, right? The world's still not gonna give a fuck. You don't want to understand that nobody cares. Nobody cares. Don't you get it? The world don't have to give a fuck. The world is not your oyster for you to think that we have to bend and acquiesce to what you want. No, we don't. You not
Street shit
the
don't
way
care
I look.
about that.
It ain't even that. Like, look. Her brother attacks an old ass man, and you want me to just be okay with? No, I'm not okay with that because I would not attack an old man. But you want me to be okay? Cause street shit. No, fuck street shit. I would not attack an old man. I would,
Street
let
shit.
alone if his back is turned. Nah, you.
At least not on a fucking camera.
It's look,
Okay.
look. Point
Okay.
is people view shit like that as trash. You don't want people to view it as no, but they do look at it as trash. They do. And you can't change that. So you either clean up your fucking act or you going to keep going through the same shit.
Okay.
My whole country.
Okay, let me say this.
Go ahead, Lou.
Okay, go, Mark.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I go. Okay. The point that the gentleman before was making goes like this. There are male boxers that are being hassles, idiotas, and they're getting all this clout and all this money. So it's not fair for a female boxer like Clarissa Shields to not get the same attention and the same money. So in a fair world, these people who's being an asshole will get that same attention and the same money. What the guy is saying at the end is like, it's okay for a fucking asshole to get all the attention and all the money. If you get attention and money for being an asshole, that's a glitch in the system. It should be working like that. There are people doing foul shit every time, killing, raping, being homophobic, being transphobic, and they don't deserve all that. And when the universe gets the things right and punishing the behavior of a person for being a fucking asshole, you get mad?
That's yeah.
Fuck out of
it. Let me make this point. I got to a job. This was years ago. This was maybe 6-7 years ago, right? I get to this job. I get to this gig. I start off getting paid more than everybody else. Why? Because I fucking asked for it. I'm ready to walk away if you don't pay me what I want. Now this is different than New York because in New York they're not so hush hush about what everybody's making. Whereas where I moved, the pay is competitive. Everybody doesn't get the same thing, so it's very taboo what it is that people make for a gig. People find out that I'm making more than them. People that have been at this company for many years, they find out, they get upset. And they ask me about it. I'm like, well, you get what you ask for. If you want more, you get more. If you don't, you settle. This is not a fair world. I'm sorry to break the news to you, but it's not a fair world. And if you keep waiting for it to be a fair world, you're going to look like a fucking idiot. It doesn't matter what Floyd makes. It doesn't matter what Conor makes. It doesn't matter what Ronda makes, all right? People don't like you. So you need to worry about you and stop worrying about them, because bringing them up is not putting no money in your pocket. It's not going to put money in her pocket.
But it's not fair, Julius. Why do these people make more money than me?
I mean, I can personally say that I've been in a lot of places in my life where I threw my hands in the air and said it's not fair. Like, I mean, that could have been in sports where there are guys taller and bigger than me, and I couldn't, and I couldn't cover him because he was way faster than me. It happens all the time. My thing is, how do we? I sympathize. So the thing is, like, because I'm not really a woman, but I sympathize. You're playing in a man's sport. So how does she, in a sense, like, look at this situation and saying this is a problem that I can get past and prosper in, even after the loss?
Whoever got the dog barking, mute your mic.
Yeah, but how does she look at this situation?
I want to answer the question. I just want to stop hearing that dog.
Shoot the dog.
The way you approach a situation like that is the same way that you approach working out. Working out with weights in order to get bigger, right? We are not all built the same. We are not all shaped the same. We don't all squat and deadlift the same because we are different. Some people have longer torsos than others. Some people have mostly leg. Some people have short torsos. Some people's backs arch more. The approach is specific to the individual, and you must figure that out for yourself. Your team must figure that out for themselves. The onus to do so is not on the public. It's on you. They don't have to like you. You're in the entertainment business. You make your money off of them. So you have to cater to them one way or another. If you don't want to change your attitude, hey, great, then put on a more entertaining show. Get more knockout. Do what you got to do, because the onus is not on them to like you. The onus is on you to make them like you. That is your job, but it is not their job to like you, and that is entertainment. You make yourself subject to this as soon as you enter the realm of sports and entertainment. Now, if you don't want to deal with the public, then you get yourself a nice cubicle job or some other kind of job. But if you're in the entertainment business, yes, you have to try to get people to like you or hate you enough to buy your fight. But if they're not doing either, then you're not doing your job. Somebody ain't.
Damn. That's some hard truth, but it's reality. It is reality.
It's reality, all right?
It's the same in everything. It's the same. Look, how would y'all feel if tomorrow morning I started making video after video and quote after quote saying that Julius is overhyped and he doesn't deserve to have more subs than me? That's what she's doing.
I give you a like, Mark.
Julius would probably be the first one to hit the like on that button and say, yeah, but I get more money than you, and stick his middle finger up at me and walk out the window.
The main thing is this, right? A lot of guys like to justify shit by bringing up the streets. So let's bring up the streets, right? Ain't no rules. There's no rules in the street. So why the fuck do you want rules in life? There's no rules. It's the same as getting into a fist fight at Popeyes. You don't get to pick the weight class of the guy you're fighting. That doesn't happen. If I want to blow your fucking if I want to blow your fucking noodles out your head and skip the fight, I could do that. Skip the fight. And what the fuck? And what the fuck are you gonna do about it? Call the cops? This is life. This is life. So in life, don't bring up a place where there are no rules to justify why there should be rules, because the street shit. What street shit? You don't do no street shit. Because if you did do street shit, you wouldn't be talking like that. If you understood the streets, you'd understand everything in life is cause and effect. If I say, yeah, man, I beat the shit out of Conor McGregor. When Conor beat my motherfucking ass, I was asking for it. Period. All right. If you want a Keith Thurman fight, and you beat the drum for equality, you know what I'm gonna do? Give it a fight.
Look at Charlie Zelenoff and the things he said about Wilder and Wilder's daughter when he got his ass beat, but he didn't expect Wilder to hit him.
I mean, that's why I don't even equate organized sports to what happens in the streets, because in the streets, like I went through a pool hall once, right?
Yeah, look at Fred and Kenny Porter.
I went through a pool hall, right?
Come on, man.
I
You
went
gotta stop.
through a pool hall. This was over a decade ago. In a BX in the Bronx, right? And we was about to get it on with some guys in there. I go in the bathroom, motherfuckers turned off the light. I flicked the switch so that when I open this door, one of y'all gonna get it. One of y'all gonna get it. I might get got, but one of y'all gonna get it too. You know what I mean? That's life. Fuck, like you can't bring up street shit and then be like, oh, well, things need to be more fair because street. No, if you're gonna bring up the streets, you telling me how unfair it isn't. It is because, like, well, you don't get the. Oh, well, let's say you weigh 175. You think you get to toggle through opponents in the street till you find one that matches you, that fits you? But no, you might fight a motherfucker that's 237 pounds. That's the streets. That's the streets.
I heard this one dude give it an analogy. He said, bro, I can't stand when people be like, yo, you know what? This is the equivalent of boxing. Equivalent of boxing is a dude that come to your school and be like, hey man, I'll beat all you guys, every single one of you guys in here, right? They be like, all right, when we gonna shoot the fade, but we can have it after school. And then you wanna set up a fight on Friday where you know it's raining outside. You know this dude got piano class.
Bro, why you think I don't like when people bring up MMA, right? As the closest equivalent to a street fight, that's the shit that make like, yo, ain't no ref in the street. If I want to beat you to death with a brick, I can. If I want to blow your noodles out your head with a 9mm, I can. If I want to stab you to fuck up in your stomach till your small intestine is hanging out, I can. That's the street. The shit y'all talking about is a ref and some gloves and some span. That ain't the streets. So don't bring me no street shit.
Has no place in boxing, man.
Don't bring me no quote unquote fake ass street shit so I can feel sorry for you, because you know what you telling me? You're not from no street if you want me to feel sorry for you, because it don't work like that. You dig yourself out. You pull yourself out. All right. The shit you talking about is some pity party shit, and I don't live like that.
And everybody knows. Everybody knows the best martial art is Kung Fu. Like everybody knows.
Wing Chun.
I disagree. Everybody knows the best martial art is modern arts. What about that gun? Shoot them in the head.
Like you wilding like you. It's always some like I know.
Yo, Bob, you try karate chop me and I have a gun in my head. You're going to sleep.
It's always on social media that you get some thugnificent motherfucker talking about using the streets as an avenue for somebody to feel sorry. Like I see this shit on Twitter, I see it on here, on YouTube, like some thugnificent motherfuckers that want a pity party. You can't be thugnificent and want a pity party. It don't work like that. All right. Now, if you really done things and bad things and all of that, you gonna realize, like, bro, you don't waste your time waiting for people to pity you, because they won't. When you rotting away in jail doing a 10-year bid, you think people gonna stop living? They're not. You think motherfuckers gonna stop fucking these bitches and going to parties? They not. Better stop.
That caller who wanted to talk about that street shit, man. I'm like, bro, Clarissa doesn't have an audience. If you want to bring that street shit, all right, go ahead. Go bring your fucking dope free friends to support her.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, dog, like how we go from talking about metrics and demographics and things that are relevant to this conversation to some street shit. See, you're not from no motherfucking street. All you telling me is you're not from no motherfucking street with that feel sorry for me shit. You better know better. Yeah. You better know better, because nobody, I like, bro, you think, I had a friend, right, when we was 18. He went away for 7 years, B. You think I stopped fucking bitches because you locked up? Nope, I'm keep fucking these bitches.
Jay, can I ask a question? Can I ask a question closer to the main topic of the conversation?
Mm-hmm.
So, you've been trying to advocate and promote women's boxing, and let's be honest, in like YouTube, which is a minefield against women's boxing, a large majority, right? And you'll have noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
And you've put in lots of time, effort, your own commitment. You've highlighted so many fighters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Clarissa Shields, if we're being honest, is probably one of the most polarizing figures in women's boxing, right? Maybe the most polarizing, just straight polarizing. So, what I wanted to ask you is, when she was coming through, your hopes, your expectations, the gravitational pull, and the direction in where she's gone, How does that make you feel trying to advocate for the sport?
Honestly, it makes me feel nothing because she's not the one that's carrying it.
No, in terms of where she could have gone.
Where she could, I always had questions about her because I knew that her divisions were barren from the very beginning. So it's like I had high hopes for what she could do that maybe she could do in America, what I saw Katie could do in the UK. That's the hope that I had, but I knew that it's going to be a little tougher here because Americans can't really make up their mind. Americans have a million stances on things, right? Whereas in the UK, it was more simple for Katie, or just across the Atlantic Ocean, I should say, because she's Irish. You know what I mean? She had supporters already. What needed to be there was there from the very beginning because of the Olympics. Whereas Clarissa, they weren't following her amateur career like that. They really weren't. So I already knew, like, when she go pro, it's gonna be tough because you didn't get very many fans with what she was doing. You really didn't. And I had high hopes in the sense that I guess looking back, I think I was hoping for miracles for her to like, because it would have been a miracle if you could make people watch, but you didn't. And if anything, you made them not watch. You just made a bunch of enemies, if anything, because of your personality. And you're still going to have these people that they think that the world is supposed to accept their bullshit. And no, the world don't. You could be really nice to people and they could still not like you. You understand that, right? You could be nice to people and they could still not like you. So when you're an asshole, like, what do you think's gonna happen? You just don't want to be identified as an asshole. People don't want you to be identified as an asshole, but you are, and it is what it is.
I mean, we hit the 2 hour mark, so I know Julie's gonna want to go to bed soon. So I got to ask Julius, did you see Doom?
No, I watched Vivarium, and that shit was weird as shit, man. That shit is the parallel for Vivarium is the cuckoo bird, and how the cuckoo bird will go to a different breed of bird's nest to get that bird to raise their child. In Vivarium, and in Vivarium, that's basically the plot, that some kind of other species abducts this couple to raise this child that is not human and lives like in a parallel universe that looks like a sunny neighborhood where there's no weather and nobody lives there except them. It's weird as shit, man. But
is it that show on Hulu?
No, it was a movie. It was a movie.
Oh, okay.
But it was
that, like, it did that because, like, you know what I thought you was explaining Splice for a second. That kind of what it sounded like, but yeah, I don't think I heard of that one. I'm going to watch Dune tonight though because that's on HBO Max, so I'm going to try to check that one out.
I was on my Prime. I was on my Prime, and I watched Poltergeist 2 for like the 100th time, and then I seen Vivarium come up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this shit because the pretty English girl is in the shit. And I watched the shit, and I watched the shit. I'm like, look, it wasn't bad. I wanted to know what happened, but I had to watch it 2 times to understand why the fuck y'all showed that cuckoo bird. Why y'all showed the cuckoo bird at the beginning? I'm like, oh, right, because he's getting them to raise him, even though he's not, like he's the cuckoo bird, and they the different species. So like, oh, I get it. It's not very good, but I get it. I wish there would have been more fucking because she's hot. But other than that, it was like it's some regular shit, man. But
I hear Doom got one of the most expansive universes. That's why I'm kind of hooked on it because I think they said it has like one of the most hardcore book followers other than Lord of the Rings. So I was like, I'm going to give it a shot, even though I wasn't really a big fan of Lord of the Rings.
I grew up with the first Dune, right? And Dune was very hard to relate to. You know why?
It's the movie.
The original Dune. Yeah, I saw the original Dune, and the reason that you couldn't really sell that story is because it's so far in the future that none of the problems are relatable to a society as it is. Like that's the problem that Dune has always had with its adaptation. This is not a Earth-like place. Y'all motherfuckers over there in a planet full of sand.
It's set in the year 10,191.
It's not relatable.
Come on.
I don't know if that's a good excuse, Ren, because almost every single. Let's look at it. We have tons of future post-apocalyptic worlds that still engage audience. We have Book of Eli.
Book of Eli was relatable, bro.
Yeah. I mean, the guy who was supposed to be, in a sense, the next coming for like gods as far as prophets. And like I don't know how to relate.
Let me break it down. You know why it was relatable? it's not relatable to everyone, but it's relatable to those people that are of faith people, you know, those religious people and Bible thumpers. They're gonna look at that, and there's gonna be something that they can derive from that. In Dune,
household, and I still didn't. I mean, well,
you listen. You might not have, right? But I personally, yeah, I like Book of Eli. I didn't think it was great. I've seen way better Denzel movies, but it was great. It was all right. It was like, yeah, it's a good movie. It's decent. I don't find myself watching it back very much. I watched The Pelican Brief more than that. But
have you ever seen Blade Runner?
Blade Runner. You know, for me, Blade Runner is like that. That it's like, yo, I don't care about this movie.
I mean, like, they make the situation so. Okay, how do I put it? I think it is a situation where you still can't relate to. They make it so relatable to the thing that the people do because they want you to almost get a glimpse of how much people value life because of the fact that everybody's time is shortened because there's so much overpopulation going on in the world. And that is a problem that we are having right now. But
yeah, it's not a problem that we feel. It's not a problem. See, like, look, there was a movie in the 80s about an alien that it was called Life Force, right? This fucking alien was hot, man. She's running around fucking these guys and taking a life force. That was more relatable to me because I was watching that thinking, yo, I'd have fucked the shit out of but it was relatable because I'm like, yo, she would have got me because I'd have fucked her. I would have fucked her. She was hot. That's relatable.
I mean, have you ever seen Soul and Green?
Nah.
How do I put this? It's kind of in the future. I don't want to spoil the big plot twist, but I think you should watch it. It's kind of a slow movie, but I'd say look it up. It's a movie called Soil and Green. It's kind of like a talk on how like the middle and the middle and the upper class treat the lower class. It's not like Parasite. I don't want to. I know that movie's overrated, but I'm talking about like Soil and Green. Look it up if you can. It talks about how like the upper class deals with like the lower class when you're at the bottom. Like it's almost like
Snowpiercer.
Say that one more time.
Was that like Snowpiercer or something?
Yeah, Snowpiercer, bro. You took it right off my head. It's Snowpiercer. If you ever seen that movie with Chris Evans, it was on Netflix not too long ago. But it's the exact same thing.
I'm gonna say this. Look, there's movies that are set so far in the future that they don't have any familiar themes, and I feel like Dune is one of those movies. Like, I don't even know what the conflict is, and I've seen Dune at least 10 times because it used to come on Channel 11 on Saturdays when Channel 11 would show movies on Saturdays, and I've seen that movie a lot, and to this day I cannot tell you what the fucking problem. Like, what is the problem? There's sand. It's a girl.
I think I think Dune is a metaphor for ambientalismo, I don't know how to say.
I guess that the concepts are ideological concepts in that movie that are not relatable to day-to-day problems. Like, for example, Terminator is genius because it's simple. There's a guy, he wants to kill you, you gotta run. All right, it's simple.
It's more so to it than that. He's literally the how do I put it? He's literally
the Terminator.
The fate of the world falls in his hands if he survives. That's the gist of it. So the thing is, when it comes to like, and I say like futuristic movies, I think they can tackle a lot of ideas. A lot of them fumble the ball. Like we've had Mortal Instruments. I don't know if you ever heard of that. And we had you remember the Divergent series?
I remember Divergent.
Yeah, like they fumble the ball. Like sometimes they do, but then again, we have movies like Alien. We have movies like Blade Runner. We have movies like oh my god, I can't think of. I'm trying to think of another good one. Crap. But you get what I mean, though.
I'm gonna put it to you like this: any movie where the selling point is not immediately relatable. Like, think about it this way: you can have a movie like Divergent that is set in a faraway future, but the overall conflict, what makes it relatable, is it doesn't speak to people like me. I have to say that. It speaks to this generation that they're automatically lost. They always fucking feel lost, like they don't have a place in the world. I find that to be a postmodern theme more than a theme for someone like me, because this generation is just on some real just soft doodle butt shit, right? But the reason Divergent was marketable to a younger audience is because they're trying to find their place in the world the way that the protagonist is trying to find her place in their world, where everything is set. no, I want to love and I want to be. I remember this shit. It was so corny. My daughter made me watch the goddamn shit. My daughter and my wife made me watch that shit. Like, Divergent, where the guy was like, the guy was like a warrior guy, and they had just fucked, and he was like, no, I want to be strong and compassionate. And I'm like, oh, give me a fucking break. This is what you want me to watch? You know what I mean? I enjoyed Twilight more than that, to be honest. And they made me watch.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, yeah, but because that stuff don't look. The stuff is gonna speak to a younger audience that is familiar with those themes more so than I am. The themes that I'm familiar with are utilitarian themes, like, okay, well, this metal guy is shooting at me, so I need to run because he's trying to terminate me. I understand this. Predator, I love the movie. They don't know what the fuck's going on. They don't know what the fuck is there when they get there. They start getting shot at. People start dying. It's perfect. It makes sense. Like, what the fuck's going on here? But we got to deal with it. That's life. You know what I mean?
Yo, did you guys see on Twitter? Did you guys see on Twitter that they're coming out? First of all, this just snuck up on us. There's a new Resident Evil movie coming out. No. There's a new Resident Evil movie called Welcome to Raccoon City.
Personally, I think it's going to.
Bro, after I don't know how many films, but like finally a film that actually models the game. Exactly like Resident Evil 2, which is all I asked for.
Like this is a conversation I'm really passionate about because you're talking to a guy who used to love the Resident Evil movies. I legitimately used to love them, and then now went a complete 180, and now I almost hate almost every single one of them. I still think the first one. I still think the first one is serviceable, but almost every single one after that I hate with a burning passion because I can't stand Paul W.S. Anderson. He writes the crappiest scripts when it comes to Resident Evil. But me personally,
go ahead, Battle.
But me personally, I looked up this movie, and as far as what I'm concerned is this is the guy's third writing credit. He's wrote two movies in the past. He's wrote one movie that was fairly low budget that I think nobody ever heard of, so I'm not even going to bother mentioning it. And then he wrote 47 Meters Down, which I didn't see. I heard it was good by some people, but this is his third writing movie credit.
Look, I saw to add to the conversation. I saw 47 Meters Down, and from a writing perspective, from the perspective of somebody who actually likes to write stories as a hobby, you can't do that. You have completely changed the genre of movie in the last 40, 30 minutes of the movie. It has become something completely like, bro, how did we go from it was survival before? Now it's you got demigods in a demigod in the movie. And the only reason I know that this is a demigod is because
what happened in Resident Evil 5, which is so fucking weird. It's like that's a Western already got superpowers. Okay,
you can't do that in like because you remember Kirsten Stewart, she was in 47 Meters Down or whatever. I believe that was 47 Meters Down. And
is that the girl who only has one facial expression?
Yeah.
Oh, ew.
Like you can't do that. Like how you go
she's the girl who always looks like she's upset / constipated / has a headache, right?
Yeah, like
I think you're thinking of
going through depression. It's a Twilight, bitch. Yeah.
I'm thinking of Belle from Twilight. Or whatever her name was.
There are generally terrible movies out there, but the ones that work are the ones that have themes that transcend time and eras. Like the Rocky theme is a very familiar theme to a lot of people, and that's why the movie lasted the test of time. A lot of the better movies are movies that are easily relatable to an audience, a broad audience. Dune, I don't know what the fuck is going on in Dune. Like, what is this? Like, this sand. This guy's wearing some tight outfit that looks uncomfortable. I don't know what's going on.
The reason Rocky is so successful is because everybody has always wanted that underdog to succeed so massively, and he's just that local guy, and that's all it is. He's down on his luck. Everything's going fucking shit. He gets an opportunity. He's a hard-nosed bastard, and he's selling it on that. And everybody, for as long as I've known, everybody wants an underdog story. That person rising from shit. So people are going to gravitate towards that. Always.
It's able to sell.
What is Dune? Tell me what Dune is, Battle.
I have no idea. I've never read the books. I've never.
Right. So who's been bigging up Dune on here? I thought it was Battle who was bigging up Dune.
No,
Battle said he's gonna take in Dune because it looks interesting, and I can wholeheartedly say, look, I watched like it's different generation, bro. When we were young,
have you seen the new Dune, Julius?
There
seems to be two.
Okay. Yeah, the cast is good. The cast look pretty good.
The old Dune, I've seen it 11 times because Channel 11 used to show it periodically year after year. And look, I've seen it 10 times. I don't know what the shit is about. I don't. Like, I would have it on while I was drawing, and I'm watching the shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this movie about?
Yeah. Like, if anything, the one thing you can disconnect your audience on is the movies you're straight confusing. Like Mother had that problem. I don't know if you ever seen that movie Mother.
I heard of Mother.
But I'm gonna give this movie a chance because I'm into some weird things that I can get behind. Like, I'm into some things I can just try to get behind that I really want to know. I hear it's a big mystery of the film. I heard
is it gonna be similar to like Star Wars and stuff like that, or is it like totally different?
It has a really expansive universe. Let's put it that way.
I never liked Star Wars. I don't know why.
I'm reading the plot of Dune, right? So this guy, a brilliant and gifted young man born into a great destiny beyond his understanding, must travel to the most dangerous planet in the universe to ensure the future of his family and his people. As malevolent forces explode into conflict over the planet's exclusive supply of the most precious resource in existence, only those who can conquer their own fear will survive. Bro, it sounds like Afghanistan.
So like me.
It sounds like a weapons of mass destruction going for oil out in Iraq. Get the fuck out of here.
It sounds like the Netflix show.
Apparently there's a big worm. Apparently there's a big worm, right? And I saw it, and it looks like a fucking giant asshole. Like it's a fucking rim.
A big worm? What?
Dune, the problem with Dune is Dune would be better adapted as an RPG video game than a feature film. Like if you think
they had a PC game in 2000, like a long time ago. This shit is a classic, man. But Dune, you talking about the David Lynch Dune that you saw, right? The David Lynch.
Mm-hmm. Final Fantasy.
He throws a lot of complex themes. Like he does. I tried to watch this movie, this series that he did on ABC a long time ago. They got a cult following. I forgot what it was called, but I'll tell you later about it. But like he does that shit, man. He trips you out.
Like Final Fantasy was always a fun game to me, but you can't turn that shit into a movie. There's too much going on. You can't turn that into a movie. Now you can play it as a game, but there's too much shit going on here for you to try to fit all this into 2 hours. Now you'd need like 6 movies to help the audience understand this shit.
Is Dune on Netflix?
I think
it's on HBO.
It's on HBO.
Hey, have you ever seen Tenet?
Tenet.
I didn't like it.
With John David Washington. Okay,
it's a Christopher Nolan film.
I'm gonna be honest. That's not like a super expensive universe, but my God, like when I first watched that movie, I had a hard time following what the heck was going on because it was in so much stuff going on. I had to repeat, and then they had an audio problem where you couldn't hear the people talking as much unless you turn it up really loud. I put on subtitles. It took me a couple of times to really understand what was going on in that plot, but like you gotta really pay attention. Like it's you really.
So this thing is in the cinema right now.
What, Dune?
In Ireland, it's in the cinema.
I wouldn't go.
Oh yeah. It's in theaters right now. Yes,
I wouldn't go. See. Like, look. I don't want I don't want a movie where the universe is expansive. I want a game where the universe is expansive because then you get more games.
Play Halo.
To be fair, Jay. To be fair, I've spent $20 to watch Clarissa Shields fight at 4 o'clock in the morning. I can spend $10 to go see some shit universe.
I get it. But
I get that.
I'm only look, my level of weird my level of weird when it comes to movies, the weirdest that I will get is Prometheus, because it still relates to things that are relatable enough that they're still interesting, like the origin of man. That is interesting to me. Space travel. That is interesting to me. But when you're talking about a universe that's set 10,000 years from now, bro, come on.
Did you like Interstellar, Jay? Did you like Interstellar?
I love as a father. Listen. No. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know how y'all took that film, but when that man came back and his daughter was like 80, bro, a tear came down because I would hate that as a father. That you didn't get to watch your daughter grow up. You've been stuck in space for 7 days, which is really like 70 years.
I noticed. Has anybody noticed this trend where the greatest, like I just noticed it. I noticed a couple of years ago. As far as people really relating to a story, it's always a story that talks about a grown man and an offspring. Not really the offspring, but a little kid. God of War. It's literally renowned to this day, 2018, for Kratos and Atreus. The Last of Us. It literally renowned for Joel and Ellie. Let's look at Terminator. It's literally renowned for the T-800 and John Connor. Like, people really love that stuff. Like, I never noticed the trend until I started like thinking about like, yo, like people really.
You know what, Battle? This is gonna sound funny, right? They market movies towards people that will go to movies. Now, I'm not gonna say it's like that completely now, because the younger audience has a mind of their own and they like their different genres. But before, those parent roles, that dynamic of the parent and the child, that was geared towards people that spend money, people that have money, people that have money, have children, You can sell them that, you know what I mean? Now it's different because the younger audience, which I think is cool, and I think it's made for a lot of great different kinds of stories. This younger audience, they have their own lane. You know, they do have their own lane. They got their own shit that they're into. There was not a lane for like One Punch Man when I was a child. Motherfuckers would have looked at that shit like, who the fuck is this fake Superman? That's all we would have said. Who's this fake Superman?
It's a good anime, but Julius,
no, I'm gonna be honest.
I think I can relate to what you're saying about you haven't like wanting to expand the universe in terms of video games, better than movies, because this may be kind of a hot take, but I think video games have surpassed, movies in terms of, storytelling quality.
Of course. You can't. The thing about it, games suffer way worse from having a crappy script than movies nowadays. Like, think about it.
The problem is a conversion. The adaptation to giving it to somebody else who never played the game.
It's a complete conversion. Like, look at it. Like Marcus right here. He's not going to talk about it because he just has a growing hatred towards it. Look at the people who talk so much trash about The Last of Us 2. They was talking about that's one of the worst games ever made. Are you joking? Like, have you not played? I don't know if they remember. It was a game. They came out with the Fast and the Furious game that same year, and it was renowned for being one of the most brokest, most buggiest games ever made, besides Cyberpunk. Because
look, let me say this, right, about Last of Us 2, right? Because I was huge on Last of Us and Last of Us 2, right? But as far as Last of Us 2 goes, it wasn't like that the game was terrible. It was that the first game was so good that the drop down from with the second, even if it was even minor, would feel like you're diving off of a cliff. Right. It was a good game if you're comparing it to a lot of other games, but by proxy to the original, it's like comparing Godfather 3 to Godfather 2. Godfather 3 is okay. It's better than a lot of crap movies, but Godfather 2 is a masterpiece.
Let me give you a throwback. The platform is different, so you can tell a different kind of story. Metal Gear Solid is by far and wide one of the greatest games I've ever played.
That boy played.
I applaud you on that, and I agree with you. It is. It's one of the greatest games of all time.
But you cannot wait. You cannot turn that complicated ass shit into a movie. You can't fit that into 2 hours. You need 3 movies that are 3 hours each to tell that story. And that's what I like about video games.
Metal Gear Solid 4 had more cutscenes than playing time. And even the cutscenes were like fucking 3 hours and 4 hours long.
the one with Raiden, the blonde weirdo, right? And I don't know why they tried to. You know that I didn't even like playing that game because of Raiden. It's like, yo, I don't want to play as this fucking guy. What happened to the hard-nosed American soldier? I don't want to be this fucking guy. Yeah.
Here's the thing, and that's my point.
So
that's my point.
emo.
Think about this for a second. I mean, that's kind of my point. Like, just take this for a second. Like, I know Mark sees this as another example, but think about this for a second. You said Metal Gear Solid has one of the greatest stories and whatnot.
No,
now,
one of the greatest
games too. Like, I agree. Here's the thing, though. I'm a big fan of Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't know if you ever played it. I'm a big fan of Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm gonna be honest. The story is not that good, but you will have you will have like me personally. I liked it, but it's not that good. I'll be completely honest with you. The thing is, you will have so many people that will really polarize this game. Like now, because the landscape is so different. We have stuff like Red Dead Redemption 2, like one of the most immersive games. Like I swear to you, if you talk to most people and they tell you what is the greatest video game story ever, say Red Dead Redemption 2 would probably be in that conversation. If you ever tried to make a game that was probably like, let's say you made a game that had the same script as a Liam Neeson movie, most people would trash that game. You say, bro, like, what is this? This is dumb. This is stupid. Like, what is this? I'm not paying $60 to play this Liam Neeson game. This is stupid. Like, you don't have the standard anymore for video games. You have to make great story. It doesn't work anymore. That's the thing.
The problem, I think, is that people don't know. Like, okay. What's getting lost in a game and a story is a game allows you to tell a story from many different angles, and those angles are not being used. And before, they were being overused. You understand? Like Metal Gear Solid went from a game about soldiers and black ops to that guy didn't look. Raiden don't look like no soldier that I ever seen. Like, who is this guy?
No, he's a cybernetic ninja.
With that blonde hair.
Not even that. Just think about Saints Row. Saints Row went from a gangster game
they explored teams
to
like teams of archetypes, you know.
with powers.
Yeah.
I didn't know what y'all said.
Yeah, I didn't catch none of that shit. I didn't catch none of that shit. But I didn't play Saints Row. I heard about it. I heard it was like GTA. But GTA is simple. Like, look, this is a guy. He got out of jail. They're giving him some jobs, and you do them jobs, and it's cool. Yeah,
and the ring, GTA can't even get away with that anymore. You remember GTA had very simple story. Like, you remember GTA 3? Claude is a literal mute. He doesn't talk. He's a broke out convict that does people. He's basically, I think he's a hitman. I think he was a hitman. Yeah, but
look, he was just some. It's look. Remember Jackie Brown when Robert De Niro got out of jail and Sam gave him a job, and he ain't really doing a lot. He's just holding a gun. That's GTA 3. The only difference is he didn't.
Exactly my point. But the thing is, now GTA has one of the greatest storytellers in the franchise because you can't get away with it anymore. Like, you can't just give a guy a gun. Like, maybe you can get away with a Hotline Miami because Hotline Miami is just so stylish with his kills and his gameplay and stuff like that. But you can't do it like anymore like with these AAA games.
It's like, look. Devil May Cry. As far as gameplay, right? Gameplay. I love Devil May Cry, right? I love it. But what fucking universe do people dress like this? Where are we?
Yeah.
We're not on Earth.
Is off the wall. Like, yeah, it's crazy off the wall. Like did you see the hate that Devil May Cry the PS4 version got?
Nah, I didn't see none of the new ones.
Well, basically what happened in that one, they made Dante younger, and he didn't have the white hair. The only time he had the white hair is when Devil Trigger was triggered. People trashed that game left and right, and I remember having that game. I was like, I don't see the big deal.
Look. I had Soul Reaver. I remember Soul Reaver for PS1. Soul Reaver, right? And I love the soundtrack for the game. One of the best soundtracks for a game I've ever heard. I love the gameplay and the concept. But at the same time, you're like, yo, dog, you could never turn this into a movie because we're on a planet full of vampires that have modern technology, but the people look like they're from fucking ancient Greece. Like, what planet is this?
Right.
Earth. This ain't Earth. Like, how is this Earth?
I just want to bring up this suggestion. Have any of you guys played the Yakuza series?
I have not.
I didn't play Yakuza.
I highly recommend it.
I really want to play it.
That listen. Yes, if you like beat 'em up games, man, and you like storytelling, and it's like this game is like serialized in like episodes, and it's like a soap opera with the drama, the action, and the fucking like the camera angles. Could get real janky at times, but like the quick time events, if you're into that type of style, sometimes like in God of War, they provide that also. But the action is so fucking good, man. The fighting styles, the weapons you can use, man. Oh man, it's fucking crazy.
I'm gonna take it out.
What do you guys? What do you guys think? Which game do you guys think has the best storyline?
Halo 2.
Halo 2. You think Halo 2 has a better storyline than Halo itself?
You talking about the first one?
Yeah, Combat Evolved.
Yes, it does. Have you not played Halo 2?
I've played Halo. I've played Halo 2. I played Halo 3. I played.
Does anybody remember the plot of Halo 2?
It was kind of boring.
Listen, look.
Okay, think about this for a second.
Wait. Let me say this. You got Final Fantasy X, right? This fucking game, right? Not relatable at all as a game, as a movie, as anything. It's not fucking relatable. I bought this shit because of the graphics, right? And I'm so glad that gameplay and storytelling has gotten better because I was in so much pain playing that. I'm like, why am I playing this stupid shit? He's a ghost who's a soccer player who plays soccer in a bowl of water, and he's from the past, from 1,000 years in the past, and there's these giants that fucked everything up, but he's a ghost that gets transported into the future to help this bitch that's about to satellite. It's like, what is this?
Can't track.
What is this? I don't fucking know what the fuck this is. Like, what the fuck is happening here?
It's too hard to track. It's way too hard to track. Yeah, that's why so many Final Fantasy. It's like 25 of them. But like, let me put this in perspective, Ring.
Up to 16.
Ring, were you old enough to see? Okay, when did you see Terminator for the first time? Did you see the first one before the second one? Did you see the second one before the first one, or like?
No, I saw them in sequence. I saw the first one, and then years later they came out with Terminator 2.
Okay.
We didn't know there was going to be a sequel.
So you actually seen you actually seen the sequel. Okay, that's good. Okay, think about this for a second. I don't think people really realize the biggest like what the crap moments in like storytelling. One of the biggest, because I never was able to experience it, and I'm so mad that I'll never experience. I know I can't time travel, but this is one of the moments I feel like if I could erase my memory and experience it for myself, I would have loved this. Think about this for a second. Let's imagine you're a little kid. You're 6 years old or 7, or I don't know, whatever, and you watch Terminator for the first time. This is one of the most thrilling movies you've ever seen. You are conditioned in your head that Arnold Schwarzenegger is a killer. This guy's coming after you to blow your brains out, to completely wipe you from existence. Right now, switch over. Like I think it was like 7 years for them to make the Terminator 2.
It did. It took a long time.
Okay, switch over. You're excited. You'd be like, "Oh, Arnie's back. He's going to come back to kill the killers, and we're going to beat him again." But no, it's a big shift. Arnold's not the killer anymore. He's actually your ally. Think about the craziest shift in history. That's how it felt for me for Halo 1. I was conditioned as a kid. I'll never forget. It was the first. It was Christmas morning, and I got an Xbox. And we didn't play Halo right out of the box. We played Mortal Kombat and Tony Hawk Underground. I'll never forget when me and my brother, we was like, "Oh, this is co-op. Oh, we can play this game 2-player campaign." Me and my brother, we played that game, and we was conditioned that you are a Spartan, you a super soldier. You're here to save humanity against the Covenant. The Covenant is bad. They're trying to kill you. Try to destroy these Halo rings because these Halo rings are going to destroy the Earth that they let off a cliff, right? I beat that game. Eventually, you get to Halo 2, the biggest mind trip ever. You find out that not only that you get to play as the aliens, you actually feel sorry for them because the whole time these religious zealots were lying to them just to get their help for you to kill the Spartans I'm sorry, it's a little complicated, but I'm gonna explain it. Basically, history showed that the Forerunners gave technology advances to the humans, and the Hedericks didn't like that. So they basically lied to the Covenant. They lied to the Covenant to get them to kill the humans and to start a war that didn't need to happen because they were all religious zealots. That is
Hey, yo,
go ahead.
Julius, TLDR on everything Battle's saying is that was Battle when he was younger, and he finally discovered that there are two sides to every story.
Yes,
Battle.
You got to condense it, bro, because I was getting lost and it honestly felt like I was listening.
But it's the classic Battle when you were playing that with your brother and everything, and you were younger. But the reason you love the plot so much, right? One isn't this. I'll give you this. It's probably a bit nostalgia, and two, that's probably the first time you came across the idea of that there are two sides to every story, and that will hit somebody really strong. But bro, to me, I'll be dead ass with you. Halo 2 is shit.
Let me say this.
And I'm a way bigger Halo fan than you, bro.
The way
my name is literally Battle Rifle.
All right, now that experience that Battle is describing was not.
I'm Assault Rifle fan.
I didn't experience that with Terminator. I actually experienced that with Rocky because we spent the first two movies hating Apollo because he was the bad guy.
Oh.
We didn't like Apollo. But in the third movie, we grew to love Apollo. And in the fourth movie, we lost Apollo, which was a big fucking deal. Like, bro, he killed Apollo, bro. Like, yo, the way people experienced movies at that time is very different than the way it is now. Like, that was major, bro. He killed Apollo, bro. Motherfuckers was dead ass sad over that shit for a week. Like, yo,
yeah, that's true.
Yo, can I just say this real quick, and I'm gonna drop off. I think Metal Gear Solid should have just stopped at 4. Here's why.
I don't think it needed more games.
He wanted to stop it at 2, or actually 1, because like he came into fan pressure. He really caved into fan demand. But like what I'm saying is this, man. Hideo Kojima's a slick son of a bitch, man. I bought that game on a Thursday, right, and beat that shit on a Sunday, which was Father's Day. And you know how that fucking that game ended with him and Big Boss? Bro, that shit gave me the feels. I'm like, yo, I'm done.
Look, Virtuoso, Hideo Kojima is the Virtual Hunter of game makers. Like, bro, you are so fucking overrated. Everything they thought about you are. Come on, everything they thought about you was based on the first game. Let's be honest. Let's be real with each other.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that too.
That's where you build this.
I've heard that it was a lot more creative decisions.
That was his bread and butter, the first one.
But like the first one. It was like
Metal Gear Solid 1 is Hideo Kojima's Andre Ward. The rest of the time, he's Amir Khan games. Amir Khan game, like, oh, that's bullshit.
That's a hot take. I mean,
no, it's not, bro. Nobody was ranting and raving about Sons of Liberty. I know I wasn't. That shit sucked.
But they was talking about Guns of Patriots though. Come on, man!
Look, I want my question asked, fellas. To you, what is the best storyline in a video game ever?
Halo 2, bro. I swear.
Yeah, you've already given your answer. There's two sides to every story. I want the other sides now.
I like my game simple, so for me, it'd probably be Mario.
Yo, though, that storyline though is deep, bro. That storyline is deep. I want y'all to think about it real quick and look at it from the alternative angle, right? You got an Italian plumber, right, who's trying to rescue a princess, right? But every time he gets hit with a mushroom, yeah, he starts spazzing the fuck out, and he's in this like wall. He's super big. He's on those shrooms. No, hold on, listen to me, bro. He's tripping out on LSD. Tripping out on it. He gets that magic star. He starts glowing around. He's flying around. He gets a frog with a big ass tongue that starts licking up shit all over the gap, right? You get to the end of that movie. He goes to rescue the princess. What happens? He scores.
I mean, he was high, and we all know that.
He was high. He was going down pipes. He was cleaning them out. That movie is a reference to pure drugs, LSD, sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
You know what Mario is really about?
Shigemoto lived in Brooklyn,
it's
so yeah,
being
he
a
took his fucking
plumber
drugs
in the
there.
70s
So, yeah.
at the height of opioid addiction. That's what it's about. It's about a plumber.
No, Mario is about a dude who's chasing the pipe dream of the girl that's too good for him and he'll never get it, and he gets into having a massive drug addiction. That's the meaning of it.
Yeah, he went to a girl's house who had an iguana. That's King Cooper. He ate some mushrooms with her while he was there, but he's really
King Cooper,
bro. Like, no fucking story.
No, bro. You don't understand.
I'm trying to think of the greatest video game stories I played besides Halo 2.
Me too.
Black Ops 1, probably. Did anybody play Black Ops 1?
Yeah, that's the only Black Ops game I liked.
Black Ops 1
Black Ops 1 was rippy, bro.
That's a hard question for me. Best game.
I'll probably get shit for this. I think modern.
I don't know why Call of Duty games never got me. Maybe it's because I'm in the military and the shit is like unrealistic to me. But I've never liked Call of Duty.
Yo, I'm gonna get shit for this. I think Modern Warfare 2 is the most overrated game of all time.
I mean, I think there's
the game was too short for me.
Bro, all of my friends were like, "I'm Prestige 12." I'm like, "You're shit."
I don't care about the multiplayer too.
Has anybody played Black Ops 1 though? Does anybody remember the story from that one?
Yeah, I do.
You know, I never even remember.
MK, let me tell you something. MK Ultra is the first video game. That's it. They programmed me.
What about Pong?
MK, Mortal Kombat. Hey.
Did he say Pong?
That had a really good story.
Honestly, I didn't know none of them games. I thought that Medal of Honor and all those first-person games, I didn't even know they had fucking stories. I'm like, there's a story?
Julius, you really missing out. Black Ops 1 story was so trippy. Like, in Black Ops 1, basically, what happened is you play as a sleeper agent. This guy named Mason.
Is Black Ops 1 possibly the story if there are two sides to every story and then the in-between?
Oh my God, Mark, let me finish. So basically you play as a sleeper agent who basically worked for the president. You're supposed to take down this, it's the typical story at first. There's this guy who's basically a terrorist who's supposed to release this infamous gas that he made with this scientist called like Nova 6 gas. He's supposed to like infiltrate his facilities and like destroy it and kill him. Basically, you find out that you basically were manipulated by him to be a sleeper agent, and you basically was the whole time you was thinking that you was like working with your best friend. I mean, he was never actually there. He died years ago. You basically whole time was a sleeper agent, and they brainwash you into knowing his coordinates for when the actual bombing is going to happen on Nova 6. But they this whole time you're getting tortured because you know the location, but you have to remember it. So you have to deal with. Basically, you're playing the game through flashbacks. So
Battle, real quick, Battle. You started this off, this whole big toy raid, by saying, "So basically."
See, this is bad. If you know, wait. The reason that game stories don't work, because that was the subject. The reason these stories in these games don't work for film adaptation is listen to Battle. Just listen to that story, and it's like, bro, you cannot adapt that to a film. And again, that was the original subject.
Video games work very well in series. They work well in series. Like an example of that right now is The Witcher. But there's so much more to The Witcher than what people are seeing because I played them the whole way through. One of the greatest game series of all time. One of the greatest storylines ever.
To be honest, we have to be honest here. There is, I know a lot of people say that there's a lot of games that can't be made into movies. That is very true. But the thing is, not every game is made from a super expansive video game like Metal Gear Solid, like Final Fantasy, or like
you can't put Metal Gear Solid into no fucking movie.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, hold on.
One game that has a strong story that they tried to adapt to a film was
Doom.
Assassin's Creed. And Assassin's Creed,
it was terrible.
The story is, when you play the game and when you get to, the story's unraveling, it's actually pretty fucking good. It is. But for a movie, you can't fit all that into 2 hours, bro. How do we go from a guy in ancient Italy who runs on rooftops cutting people with a very small knife to existential questions about how mankind was conceived. It's like, bro,
Jay,
that's
I'll be dead ass
shit.
with you. I'll be dead ass with you. The first 10 minutes of Assassin's Creed, like the very first game, yeah, you can't fit that into 2 movies.
No, you can't.
No, let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. Every single time, I think they do it just to preserve budget. Every single time that there is, talks that some guy is going to produce a video game movie, they get the crappiest writers. Now, let's look at Resident Evil for example. People think that Resident Evil has this super expansive universe that can't be involved into like 1 or 2. No, it's not. You can involve Resident Evil 1 into one movie and have it be a very it can pass 90 minutes bare minimum and still be a good movie. But why the heck do they suck most of the time? We look at the first Resident Evil movie and can say that's literally the best video game movie of all time, with the exception of probably Mortal Kombat. The thing is, they keep getting very bad screenwriters to adapt it. And the thing is, I'm asking myself, why do they do this? More than likely, my prediction is to preserve money. They know if they get like a whole screenwriters room, nobody's going to come to a common conclusion, and you're going to end up losing money in development hell trying to get this thing back on track. They get the crappiest writers to write these films because it's not complicated to write a Mortal Kombat story. It's not complicated to write a Resident Evil story. It's not complicated to write a Assassin's Creed first movie, in my opinion. It's really not that complicated.
You don't think it's that complicated?
No. Okay, it's hard to write a screenplay. I'm saying it's hard to. It's not that hard to condense it in one film. Let's put it that way, in my opinion, because
that'll go away for 3 weeks and come back to me with the first 10 minutes of Assassin's Creed and 90 minutes of a movie. Go ahead.
You can.
So you can still do that. It's not that complicated.
You're gonna cut out so much.
Nah. But let me tell you. Let me just break this. I write, bro. Like, well, at least I used to write a lot, right? And you got 2 hours to show the moments that matter, and you can't fit all that shit. You're talking about a game that you might spend about 16 hours playing, right? Because I remember it took me about a full 24 hours, I should say. 3 days to beat Assassin's Creed, and you can't fit that many hours into a 2-hour feature film. You can't do it and it's gonna work. No, there's ways to tell a story. Now, I do agree with you that Resident Evil, by far, and I've seen a lot of movies, they have the absolute worst screenwriters.
Yes.
No. I agree with Resident Evil.
Let me finish. There's no way. This is like boiling rice. How do you fuck this up? I don't understand.
So bad. Like, no. Here's the thing, Ring. You want to know the thing about it? It's one writer. That same guy I was talking about, Paul Davis. I
have a question for you. Did he write this movie in crayon? Because while I watch it, I'm like, did a 12-year-old write this shit?
Me personally, dude, I don't think it's that complicated. I think he personally just looked at himself and said, I can write the stupidest stuff and people will still come see it. So why even bother trying to make an experience? Because the thing is, like, the first one was really, the quality is so much better than the sequels. I swear to God. The last one is the worst. I'm not saying one of the worst. It is the worst movie I have ever seen in my life.
Let me tell you what he's writing, right? Like, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I know what part of the guy's brain he's in when he was writing that, and he's in the lazy part of his brain that's just gratuitous. Oh, they just want to see zombies in action scenes. They don't really care about story. That's where he is, and it's not a real effort, because let me put it to you another way. The movies that are really good, a lot of them were written over long periods of time.
Right.
The ones that are really good, like you didn't just write, like Titanic was a good movie, for example. James Cameron film, same James Cameron that made Terminator. But it took years to really get the story right and the characters right. And all the movies that are like, they're really good movies, very few of them were written in a jiffy. Whereas, it don't take.
Paint me like one of your French girls.
Listen, it don't take but 10 minutes to write Resident Evil 1 through 5. Who the fuck got all this bullshit going on in their background?
That's probably me painting you.
Let me put it like this. Ring. Like, never in my life have I found such incompetent writing when it comes to continuity and you wrote all the Resident Evils. Like, let's put it like this: Highlander is a movie series that is renowned for having some of the worst continuity outs because nothing makes sense in between the movies but here's the thing. You are the same. You wrote all the Resident Evil movies, so how do you forget your own continuity? The thing is, like, I don't know if you ever seen the first one. They make nothing make sense. You want to know what the biggest plot twist of the Resident Evil final chapter is? Alex is a clone, which makes no sense. They clearly showed you like you know what I mean? Like it makes no sense.
All right, now let me change.
Can I say this too, real quick?
I was just angry, Lady Dimitrescu is a BBW.
You hit the nail on the head about the lazy part, Julius. You hit the nail on the head about the lazy part. Visually, it was fucking lazy. Did you ever see the makeup art of the fucking zombies in the first one?
Bro, look,
I just was made at a county fair. The little kids, the little kids had little just boogers.
Look, let me tell you. Look, when you write a movie, or really when you write a story, right? I feel like good writers. When I would write a story, I knew what the end was already. And I would do it backwards because that's how you write a good story. What is all this building towards and how do you justify it? I would write the end first so that I know what is this really about. And then I would fill in the blanks from the beginning to the end. These guys I feel like the writing for Resident Evil is tantamount to the writing of Lost, the TV show. You're just making this up as you go along. There's no point in anything that is happening.
It's a non sequitur, I guess.
Think about it though, Ray.
Dude,
can I say something real quick?
The one thing I hate too is a fucking catchphrase. Show's over, Scooby. Like, really?
Can I say one thing real quick about Lost? Just real quick. The amount of people who complained about Lost because of the finale, right? I watched Lost from start to finish. I don't understand why anybody is complaining about the ending. That whole TV series is shit.
No.
Julius, it's lazy, it's sloppy, and it's the same thing every fucking episode.
Let me explain this. In writing, I consider what they did on Lost grifting. There's an errant mystery that every episode you're trying to figure it out, and they're stringing you along. And if you're a good writer, you'll make it worth the audience's while. But if you're a shit writer, you just exploit that errant mystery every episode, every season, because that's all you got. It's the equivalent of Deontay Wilder. You're a one-trick pony. You know what I mean? That's all you are. You just got this one trick.
Did you just say Lost is the Deontay Wilder?
I believe that Lost is the Deontay Wilder.
I would say the M. Night Shyamalan.
No.
Everybody shut up. Everybody shut up. Julius, say that. Say it clear. Say it loud and clear, please.
Wait a minute. Lost is the equivalent of Deontay Wilder, right? But what you're not going to do, Virtuoso, is shit on Shyamalan.
No.
Wait. Don't cut me. Bro, don't cut me off.
I'm a ding dong.
Signs was one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Oh my god!
Yes,
Signs was shit. Get out of here.
One of the
fucking alien
movies.
And their biggest
Julius,
Julius,
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to get that banner off. I want you back on that screen because I need to tell you something right now.
I'm about to lay down.
Yeah, but I need you to come back for a sec because I need to tell you something. It's very fucking important. It's very pivotal to everything. Okay, Julius?
Okay, hold on.
What you... Oh, God. Fellas, this is very important.
Okay.
Forgot he made
Okay, so Julius, I need to tell you, with that one sentence of Signs being one of the best movies you've ever seen, you've just lost at least 20 subscribers in the last 2 seconds.
Listen, look, first off,
including me.
Hold on. I believe that Signs, the reason that so many
I respected you, man.
Okay, bro. I believe the reason that Signs was not a big hit with a lot of people is because they misrepresented the film. Because I remember all the marketing for the film. I remember the commercials. And I remember that they led you to believe that it's a certain kind of story when, for me, the movie was actually ahead of its time. You told most of the story in one frame, basically, like in the same house. Most of the story takes place in their house. You don't see a lot of over-the-top special effects. You don't see a lot of drug out dialogue. Everything is very intimate. But because they sold it to you as an alien movie, you're expecting to see fucking shit from Alien Covenant and shit like you're expecting to see monsters. The selling point of the movie to me was what you don't see, and trying to figure out, hey, is these people crazy, or is there really an alien invasion?
No, that wasn't my problem. My thing is, I don't know if you ever seen Arrival, but Arrival was the same way. Arrival was literally the same way. It was promoted as being an alien invasion.
No, you can't compare Arrival to that, because in Arrival there was never a mystery. There was never a mystery.
Are you serious? The whole movie is
bro. You gotta let me finish. Bro, you gotta let me finish. In Arrival, you never questioned whether or not there were aliens there. In Signs, yeah, you did. You don't know if these people are losing their minds or if there's really aliens there, right? In Arrival,
I'll give you that.
In Arrival, you have city-sized ships parked around the world. There's no way you don't know there's aliens. The question is, what do they want? But there's definitely aliens.
Okay, I'll give you that. But we have to be honest, Julius. Shamalama Ding Dong's writing has severely dipped over
Lady in the Water was shit. I concede to that. Lady in the Water was shit.
The Last Airbender,
that was shit.
Did you see The Visit?
I am a massive Avatar fan. Like, I'm an absolute fucking fanboy of Avatar. Avatar is fantastic.
I like the cartoon.
What Shyamalan did to Avatar is up there with me with some of the most heinous genocidal crimes on planet Earth's history.
Why did they get him the right? I have a question. Who decided that M. Night Shyamalan is the guy to tell that story? Like, I didn't understand. Like, y'all got him to do it?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest, Reem. I think personally, people give him way too much flack for that movie because I get it. It's one of the most renowned and most popular animated films we had as far as this generation, and people just
TV series is
they took their hatred out on him. But my God, I don't think people really understand what is out there when it comes to bad animated to TV adaptations. I saw stuff like, I don't know if you ever seen the Bleach film adaptation. It is god awful. I don't know if you ever seen the Attack on Titan film adaptation. It is god awful.
Yes, I did. They are absolutely god awful.
But here's the thing.
But what M. Night Shyamalan did to Avatar is a crime against humanity.
No, wait a minute.
Let's be honest.
Wait. You young guys with your young shit. There's nothing worse than getting the guy who played M. Bison in Street Fighter. You remember the guy who they got to play M. Bison in Street Fighter, the Spanish guy, the guy who played Gomez and Adams. Why would you? Listen. This is an action movie, right? Why the fuck would you get skinny little Raul Julia to play M. Bison? Why would you get Jean-Claude Van Damme to play Guile?
No. You want to know what the worst casting movie choices in history? Jai Courtney as Kyle Reese. What were you thinking? Are you dumb?
I didn't mind that. You talking about Kyle Reese? You talking about Kyle Reese Terminator? I didn't mind that.
What? Who was that? Oh my God, that was the dumbest. I couldn't believe.
Nah, dog. Like you can't look. You play Street Fighter, right? When you play Street Fighter, M. Bison is this big puffy guy wearing some kind of general uniform from Thailand. He's fucking huge. This guy, huge guy. You get skinny little Raul Julia to wear a.
He was battling cancer.
Like seriously? Like who?
Yeah.
Nah, it don't get worse than that. And then you have
the cats had food poisoning in Thailand. And Jean-Claude Van Damme was doing blow and banging Kylie Minogue.
Listen, steroids was big. Steroids was big in the 90s, right? You got all these. You could have got Psycho Sid from the WWE to play a better Guile than fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme and his Belgium act. Like, how is he supposed to be Guile? Sonic Boom. It doesn't make sense.
Can I be honest, yo? Psycho Sid, Sid Vicious, he could have been a great Sabretooth in the X-Men movie. The first one.
That's true.
Dude, he had the look.
Right, that's a good point.
He had the look, bro. He's from the South too. you know, the character.
It would have a lot of things just didn't, and then Guile. The weirdest thing is that everybody, you know, you make a Street Fighter movie, right? It's obviously for people who played Street Fighter, and you make Guile the centerpiece, not Ryu. Fuck Ryu, right? Just fuck him.
Yeah,
We don't
fuck Ryu.
Fuck Ryu, because we haven't all played as Ryu at the arcades, right? Just fuck him. Let's focus on Guile. Like, bro, like seriously, like whose ideas were these?
It's like Cole. It's like Cole in Mortal Kombat. Like,
no, that worked. That worked. Look, Battle. I've seen it. I saw it. I watched it. I watched it after we talked about it. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you what Cole did. Let me wait. Let me tell you this. Look, I watched the movie, right? And I honestly enjoyed it a lot. And I know that it was corny. I get it. I know that it was corny that his superpower is he could take a phenomenal ass whooping and give it back to you. Like, I get that.
Oh.
Wait. Let me tell you. This is why it worked. From a writer's perspective, unless you play the game, that is not a story worth telling. It's a very simple story to tell, but it's already been overdone. The tournament format, we already saw that with the Kumite. Like, we've already seen this movie many times with the Kumite, with the Quest, Jean-Claude Van Damme. So if the centerpiece of everything is the stupid fucking tournament, it's just stylized violence. Cole gave it because he's got the family and he sucks at MMA and he's getting his ass beat in the beginning. It rounded out the movie for me. And I really like the Scorpion stuff. The Scorpion came back and he was talking his Japanese or Chinese or whatever shit. I loved, honestly, you want my honest opinion? I really like that movie. I
gotta rant on this movie. Like, my thing is, you just went into like a whole thing about why these movies are not connecting with the audience, because you want your audience to connect with the movie so they'll like the movie. My thing is, your protagonist has got to be really important. There are certain examples where protagonists are not nearly shining as good as the other cast in the movie, but yet people still love it, like Halo, like Black Panther. Like that it happens. But the thing is, because you made Cole so unbelievably boring, and the only person who can stand on their 2 feet and keep the movie up is Sub-Zero and Kano.
No,
yeah, you fumbled on many.
Let me tell you something. I like the storytelling in that movie because I have a good idea what they're about to do, right? Cole is the centerpiece of the movie. There we agree. He's the heart of the movie, right? But moving forward, he will not be important. And they set that up beautifully. You don't see it now, but they set that up beautifully because moving forward, you got to get into Johnny Cage. You got to get into Stryker and Nightwolf and all these other people. And you can't lose that time on Cole. Cole's not that fucking important. We saw your journey. You got the really nifty sweater vest that allows you to get your ass beat and shoot the energy beams. And we've seen that. And now we got to get into these other people and what their arcanas are. It's like, honest to God, and I mean this, I really like that movie. I like that movie. I liked it. I really liked it.
This is my stomach moment. Like, that movie, man, I hated that movie. Like, it really dropped the ball for me on so many levels. And my expectation wasn't even that high to begin with. I saw the trailers. There was just some things I just didn't appreciate. The thing about it is because they went the same direction. I felt like I was going to tread a little bit of new ground. But because almost everything
did.
I don't think I did.
Battle. This is more than just Hong Kong fight scenes and techno music, because that's what the first movie was. Hong Kong fight scenes.
Better.
And no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Oh my God! You
no, it wasn't.
Okay.
This one actually had a story to it. The first two never had a story. To me, the only thing that could have made this movie better is getting the dude who plays Spawn to be Jax, because he's a martial artist.
I agree with that. The guy. Wait. Let me say this. Let me say this. Keith David didn't play Spawn. Michael Jai White played.
No, I'm sorry. Keith David is the voice actor for Spawn. So when he said Spawn, I didn't think of the movie. I was talking about the.
Let me say this. I wanted John Bones Jones as Jax. That's just me. That would have made. What do you mean? Come on, that's perfect. That would have been perfect.
And they should get dude from the WWE to play Johnny Cage. What's his name? The Miz. I feel like he'd be a perfect Johnny Cage.
Look, call me crazy. Call me crazy. If it's not John Cena,
who the fuck had Mike Misery fucking playing Johnny Cage?
Man, I swear, I can't believe what I'm hearing right now. Here's the thing: Mortal Kombat.
Who the fuck said that?
Y'all don't think the Miz will make a good Johnny Cage?
I think the Miz would make a good Johnny Cage, bro. He's not really an actor in the first place. Okay, look. Well, we have to stand on like in a sense like a realistic ground. You have to pick somebody who shows a modicum of good acting ability, who shows the ability to be likable. I was thinking of Ryan Reynolds in the first place, but I think he's a little too big. I think Johnny Cage has to be a little bit smaller, in my opinion. But that's just me. My thing is, if you look at Mortal Kombat, the first one, it does its job almost perfectly. It's not a great movie, but if you listen to almost anybody who's seen most video game movies, they will tell you Mortal Kombat 1 is top dog. Why is that?
Wait, battle. You're setting the bar low by already putting it in a subcategory. Video games that were adapted to films. Off top, the bar is already low.
You are absolutely right.
Now,
but the thing is,
wait, let me. All right. Now, what makes Mortal Kombat, and this goes back to the point that I made an hour ago. I am a family man. I have a daughter and a wife and a son. You have just made this movie that much more relatable to me with Cole, because I don't give a fuck about Night Wolf and his strange clothing. And Stryker's a cop, so I don't like him at all. All right, Sonya, what is your problem? You don't even have to fight. Bitch, go home. You don't have an Arcana.
I care.
Hey, Blue Lives Matter, you know.
I cared more about them in the first one. But here's the thing. I cared more about them because they set up the stakes, they set up the personality, they set up what they were actually fighting for, and it's actually relatable. They're fighting for the fate of the world.
No. Battle. Wait, calm down. Right, first, it is not relatable to me to travel to a different dimension to do karate moves in a different dimension. That is not relatable. That is two-dimensional. That is battle. Let me finish. Battle. That's video game logic. In a video game, that makes sense. Kind of like how in Catwoman, Halle Berry just knows kung fu. You don't explain it. She just knows kung fu, and so does Sharon Stone.
Watch this. We're gonna do a little exercise. Give me a quote that you can quote right now from the new Mortal Kombat Rebirth.
I've only seen it once, but I'm gonna watch it.
You've seen it twice.
Yeah, I've seen it twice, but I don't remember none of the lines.
I can remember legitimate lines from Mortal Kombat 1. You wanna know why? Because it was memorable. It had way better lines. You remember this is the part where you fall down. Bro. Where do you get these guys? Those were $500 sunglasses. Like, I remember this stuff.
Mortal Kombat. That was right.
I don't think
those are fucking.
You can't use the first Mortal Kombat.
I can remember the second one better than Rebirth. You remember, bro? Like you remember the part where you let them live? They got sliding across. Like, I can remember it so much.
Now, let me do an exercise. Let me do an exercise with you, Battle. Right? You remember those movie lines, right? Because you watched the movie at a time when it was already available to watch at home as many times as you'd like. I was around when the movie came out in theaters. I went to the theaters to see the movie. I did. I thought it was a shitty movie then because my bar of standard was always very high when it came to storytelling, even when I was a child, which is why I wanted to be a director when I was a child, because I understood what went into it. And I saw Mortal Kombat as a film, right, that is little more than just gratuitous violence, and that is not good storytelling. Now, if you want to make a niche film for a niche audience, which is what that movie is, it's a niche film for a niche audience of video gamers who occasionally want to see a video game adapted to a movie. But it is not a good story. It's lazy writing. It's stylized violence with techno music as the backdrop, because the only thing I remember about Mortal Kombat that was good was the theme. Mortal Kombat!
No. I can tell you off bat one thing, everything that Mortal Kombat does way better than Rebirth. For one, the acting is way better in Mortal Kombat. First,
you wildin'.
What are we? Okay. So the same guy who literally brought you the Highlander movies, plays Raiden in that movie. So I don't know what you mean by like.
Okay. Now. Here's see. This is we're different. We're different. If you get Christopher Lambert to play an ancient Japanese god, I'm gonna have a problem.
He did it well. Like,
he didn't. No. You're not gonna. We're not gonna do this because I have this same problem with old films that feature Egyptians. That, let's be honest, they're not Egyptian. All right. I've always wait a minute. Battle. Let me finish before you cut me off. All right. Now, first, I've always had that problem. Why is it if we tell a story? For example, I love 300 as a film. I really do. I love everything about it except one thing. If these are ancient Greeks, why does he have a Scottish accent?
Man, come on, bro. Yes, we're not talking about acting ability anymore. We're just talking about race.
You just said that the acting, bro.
Are you going to criticize Bane for not being Mexican or Luther dude in Dark Knight Rises? Come on, bro. Like you know, all the time.
Bro, listen. There's effective.
You bet your ass I am, bro.
There's effective storytelling, and there's things that are not effective. And when you tell me that Mortal Kombat as a film was effective, it was decent. It had mediocre. It was decent. Bro, look. You said for you it was better than it was for me. But just remember, I was around when Mortal Kombat came out. I had that excitement of, oh man, they're making a game, and I mean a movie out of it. And when they made it, and I saw it, I was disappointed.
Bro, you want to know? Here's the bread and butter of a Mortal Kombat movie, and it should be this way for any Mortal Kombat movie. The fight scenes. I can literally recall most of the fight scenes from Mortal Kombat. Can you recall from me a fight scene that was just this great fight scene in Mortal Kombat Rebirth? Because I can't recall.
Mortal Kombat 1 did not have any great fight scenes.
There were no great fight scenes in it.
Okay.
Battle. Wait, pause. Battle. Pause. All right, now first, Battle. You have strange taste in films and stories, and you've said that much. Me and Midwest is from the generation where that movie came out, and we both wait. Battle, chill, damn. Battle, chill. Me and Midwest is both telling you, yo, we wasn't bugging, we wasn't tripping off of that. You know why? Because we had good stylized violence in the Kumite. Compared to Bloodsport and Kickboxer and the stuff that we got from Rocky,
Into the Dragon was the original.
The stuff we got from Mortal Kombat was like an episode of the Power Rangers, and I didn't even like the Power Rangers.
Okay, who was the guy who said the action scenes were trash?
That was Midwest.
That was me.
Okay, Midwest. I want you to name to me in your head one of the greatest fight scenes as far as film history you go, because I can tell you legitimately, Mortal Kombat has some of the greatest fight scenes I've ever seen.
No, it does not.
I swear to you, I'm not joking. I'm not even trolling.
You trolling? No, look, wait, battle. I don't think you're trolling, but I think that your experience with that film is different. I know it's different than mine because Channel 5 used to show old Hong Kong flicks when I was a kid on Channel 5.
Yeah,
and I got to see Jackie Chan and Jet Li's fight scene. And you think that piece of shit in Mortal Kombat compares to that? You wildin'.
Yeah. No, bro. I didn't say it was better than that. Like
you said it had some of the greatest fight scenes. You're crazy.
I didn't say it was better than freaking Jet Li's Fearless. Like come on. Like I'm being.
No, it's not even on any of them levels. Like you should go watch this movie called Protector with this dude named Tony Jaa.
I want you great fight scenes. I want you to do this one favor, Midwest. I want you to do this one verse. This one favor. Go to your phone. I don't know if you're on your laptop or your phone right now. Go to your laptop or your phone and type in Liu Kang versus Reptile, and then come back to me.
Bro, look.
Just do that. Battle.
Let me talk to you, bro.
What the fuck type of drugs are you on, man?
No, bro. I don't think.
Chill, battle. And I'm being honest with you, and Midwest is gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. China O'Brien has better fight scenes than Mortal Kombat. You remember China O'Brien, Midwest? Little blonde girl. She used to wear the kids and do the karate. She had better fight scenes.
You guys
Mortal
are high, man. This is not even. Oh my god! Like, can we pull up a fight scene and you won't get flagged or anything?
Nah, I'm gonna get.
Nah, he'll get
Bro,
flagged.
have you seen the Ray Redemption battle?
Like,
Have you seen the Ray
you need to
Redemption?
get off air and then I'll show it.
Go watch that and then come back to me.
Listen, man, Mortal Kombat, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, battle. That shit's fight scenes were like Power Rangers, and I until the Green Ranger, I only like Power Rangers for one season. When the Green Ranger came in and beat the shit out of everybody, that's the only season that I like. The rest of the time, like,
you know why? Because he was the only martial arts. Well, him and the Red Ranger were the only martial arts on that show.
I can name some of the best fight scenes I've seen on TV. I can name Raid, for example. I can name stuff like Bloodsport in kickboxing, like what you just said. I can name Liam Neeson, the first one, just the first take, and the other ones they're trash.
But battle, you're talking about 90s martial arts, right? And I'm telling you that at that time, on Channel 5 on Sundays, a lot of the movie kids that like to watch movies for whatever reason, right? They would give Hong Kong movies, old Hong Kong movies. I seen Bruce Lee fight scenes that are better than that. The scene in Enter the Dragon when he's fighting all those guys with the nunchucks, that fight scene is immortal. We saw that, right? How does fucking Mortal Kombat look, the perfect weapon, Jeff Speakman's fight scene was better than any of that shit.
I think you need to catch back up on everything.
Bro. I think look, bro, Battle, why can't we just have a middle ground to where you feel about Mortal Kombat the way I feel about Signs? The difference is
nostalgic battle. That's what you are, man.
No, it's not even nostalgia. I've literally gone back and this movie is available on Netflix right now. I don't know where you guys are, but I'm in the US. It's available on Netflix right now. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to look at Netflix. You can go on YouTube and type in the search bar and just type in these 3 action scenes. Type in Liu Kang versus Reptile. Type in Johnny Cage versus Scorpion, or just type in Liu Kang versus Shang Tsung. I swear to God.
My question is, have you ever seen The Raid?
Of course,
yeah. Are you comparing it to all fight scenes, or are you just comparing it to like video?
No. Like as far as what I've seen, it's not the. As far as what I've seen, it's not.
Do you think any of those fight scenes compared to the hallway scene in Raid?
Have you ever seen Ballin' with Michael J. White?
They don't.
Bro, those scenes in Mortal Kombat are choreographed. They're choreographed, but they're so telegraphed, man. If you see it.
Yes, I've seen it.
If you saw it like in a higher refresh rate with HD TVs, man, you can still tell that it's fucking choreographed and it's fucking slow as shit.
So is Mortal Kombat. Like, did any of you guys? Okay.
They barely use their powers in the fight.
I'm talking about Mortal Kombat. That's
no. Just bear with me here. Bear with me.
You talking about a different Mortal Kombat?
No.
I
just want you guys to do this simple exercise. Just go to your phone and type in Liu Kang versus Reptile.
You're not gonna make me watch that shit.
It's so much better than you remember it, because you're remembering everything wrong, man.
Bro, I'm not. Look, I'm telling you, you feel about Mortal Kombat the way I feel about Signs, and the difference between us is I accept that Signs was not a movie for everybody, but as far as effective storytelling, for me, it really did the job. It drove the point home what the movie was about, what it's all about, because I didn't have the expectations that other people have. Now, you're taking Mortal Kombat and you're taking it to a place that it is as far as what action movie?
Here's the thing. I can rewatch Signs again, and probably my mind will change, because that's just how it is. It's been a while since I've seen Signs. Just like I know for a fact it's been a while since you've seen Mortal Kombat, because you placed this story on the echelon of being above the Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, which is I find incredibly ridiculous, because Mortal Kombat 1 did everything better. It did action scenes better.
Oh my God. You know what Mortal Kombat is? It's a sequence of cameos with video game characters and stylized violence. There is no story. It is two-dimensional.
Right. Here's the thing. I never held this standard to the Mortal Kombat movies that they had to be up there. And the thing is, like you said with me, I usually come from a place of having a standard that I always hold the story in high regard. I knew before I was coming in that the story probably was not going to engage me, but I still came out of that movie disgusted. Why? Because I didn't feel as connected with the characters. I didn't remember any lines. I didn't laugh as much. I didn't have as joy watching the fight scenes. I thought the CGI was terrible.
Julius, you remember this TV show on Fox called Masters of the Martial Arts?
I remember that corny ass Mortal Kombat ripoff. It wasn't that far off.
Yeah, that had better fights than that one.
I was trying to think of what that was called.
that shit was a Mortal like that. It was supposed to be like I don't even know what it was.
That Mortal Kombat room had better fights than
they even stole the logo.
You guys are caught in a bubble. You guys are not going to ever watch.
Battle. You got two guys that grew up in that era. With that game before the movie came out, and we both telling you we both seen it, and it was
no, you got me.
It wasn't
dope. Like the fight scenes. Okay. For anybody in chat, hold on. We're gonna do a poll in the chat.
Battle. The fight scenes in Ninja Turtles was better than that shit.
Man,
yes, man.
Look, I'll just accept it, dude. You have different tastes to everybody.
No, I honestly don't see how you guys think that it's like. I think it's been a while since
because we've watched other things.
Bro, do you know battle? Let me round out the story for you, right? Because here's the plot twist, and it's not really a twist when you look back. The reason we've only seen it, the reason it's been a long time since we've seen it, is because it's not good.
No, it's very good. Like,
no, it's not, bro. No, it's not. It's not good, bro.
Hold on. Let me finish. In comparison to Rebirth, it looks like Godfather.
All right.
Now, let me say this. I really hope there's a time where, because I don't know if you guys still use Hangouts. So eventually, I hope there's a time where we can get on Hangouts and I can actually show it to you, not on air.
You're not gonna make me watch that shit,
bro. Come on, man.
I'd rather watch China O'Brien than that shit. I'd rather watch China O'Brien.
You would rather watch Rebirth for a second time, and that's literally the bottom of the barrel when it comes to as far as
my guy. I'm a 90s and 80s connoisseur, right? I've watched all the bad movies, Basket Case, everything, right? And I'm telling you, even for 90s and 80s standards, martial arts fight scenes, that shit was corn, bro. The whole movie is cringe. The whole thing.
You guys are tripping. Like
the whole thing.
Let's ask the comments. Let's ask the comments right now. Which Mortal Kombat movie is top dog? Is it one? Is it Annihilation? Or is it Rebirth? Let's ask the comments right now.
Annihilation. Don't even mention Annihilation. Get the hell out of here.
You can't get... Bro.
You're asking the comment section to pick between getting hepatitis A, B, or C. What the fuck are you doing?
Bro, you have Christopher Lambert. Christopher Lambert is Raiden, right? Looks nothing like even the costume that he had in the movie. He looked like Jesus. Like he got a white outfit. He don't even look like
more
Raiden.
Like Gandalf.
Okay.
He looked more like Gandalf than Raiden.
Bro. I still don't understand why that has. What does that have to do with anything?
Because how am I supposed? Look. That's like if you got. You know what it's like, Battle? That's like if you got Tony Jaa to play Shaka Zulu. It don't work, bro.
No.
It doesn't work.
Here's the problem with your logic, man. The thing about it, if you look at Mortal Kombat 2. 1 through 3, almost all of the characters didn't really have a race. Most of all the characters was white. It wasn't until like the fourth one when they actually start introducing race. When it came around to the time that they had the 1997 Mortal Kombat, most of them they didn't have races. They were all almost white.
No. Look, when I played the game, listen. When I played the game, right? You saying that, and when I played the game. Before the movie came out, I was of the understanding that Raiden is from the Far East. He ain't from fucking Canada or wherever the fuck Christopher Lambert is from.
You're right. But I'm comparing it to as far as the medium, what was the game was. almost every single character, with the exception of Jax, was white. They didn't really specify where they came from.
See, this is what you're doing. You're using postmodern sentiments to tell me. I'm like, bro, when I played that game, bro, wait, bro. I didn't think Sub-Zero was white. I thought he was Japanese. I didn't think Scorpion. I thought he was Japanese.
Why can't I use that? The movie came out in 1997, so the standard.
I was around in 1997, and I'm trying to tell you that I was of the understanding that Ray ain't supposed to be Christopher Lambert.
Here's my thing. If it wasn't fully specified,
Battle, show me the Mortal Kombat game 1 from 2, because that's when the movies came out. Not none of the new shit. Show me in which Mortal Kombat game does Raiden have white hair?
What does that have to do with anything?
Because that I'm trying to tell you, like, you revising history, and I'm telling you, when that movie came out, I went to class on Monday, right? And I do remember. When I went to class on Monday, my friend asked me, "Yo, you seen that?" And we both started laughing because how trash it was. Like, yo, that shit was garbage. Like, outside of the theme music, that shit was garbage. You wildin'.
Has anybody ever? Man, nobody commented which one. Which one is the best one, y'all? Is it Mortal Kombat 1, Annihilation, or is it Rebirth? Come on now, please.
They said Ninja Turtles.
Like, this is unbelievable. Like, I couldn't believe it.
I know, it's a travesty.
Bro. If you listen to anybody, I want you guys to do a poll. Do a poll on your channel.
That shit was trash, bro. I'm sorry, but it was trash.
Ring. Okay, Ring.
Christopher Lambert's acting is winning as always, man. And it's like, it has no depth, man.
No. We can bet $20. Ring, you have 12,000 subscribers, something like that, 13. I want you to do me a favor. Tomorrow morning, make a post, say which Mortal Kombat was the best.
Battle. Why you need me to Battle? I just want to ask you, why do you need me to make a poll when I'm telling you, yo, it was trash, and it ain't just me. Midwest is telling you, that shit was trash.
Here's the thing. If it's so trash, then most people will vote for it. So,
all right, battle. What do you want the vote to be?
Okay, make the vote. Mitch, which Mortal Kombat movie was the best? Was it the 1? Was it Annihilation? Or was it Rebirth? I guarantee you most people will say Mortal Kombat 1.
I guarantee you about 1% of my audience will have watched any of them because they heard how trash they are.
No. Ring has a mostly American audience. Most of them watched it. I'm pretty sure.
Battle. I'm gonna let you.
My subscriber base is 82% American.
Wait, now let me do this. Listen, I bet you that on the strength of the song, because that's the only, like, I got into a lot of fights in grade school because that song, right? It's a dope song and make you want to fight people, right? They're probably gonna vote for MK1 because of the theme song, because it's like, yo,
now you making excuses.
No,
man.
I'm not making Battle. I was in that era, bro. You was learning how to talk. I'm telling you, like, that. The only reason the reason people endear the first Mortal Kombat so much is because that theme song, we was ready to all go to war when that shit came on, regardless of how bad the movie was.
Ring trying to backpedal and make excuses, so I'm gonna make it easier for him. Right after you do the poll, put this is exactly what you put in your poll. Put which Mortal Kombat was the best between Mortal Kombat, Annihilation, Rebirth, and why. That's all you have to do. They'll tell you the reasons why they prefer it better.
I'm reading this absolute heat person. Who did I mute? I don't know. Battle, like I said, bro. I was in that era, bro. And it wasn't just my reaction. Like, I remember when the Ninja Turtles movie came out, rave reviews. The second one, even more, because they had got Vanilla Ice to do the song, Go Ninja, Go. Everybody was wilding. And I remember when Mortal Kombat came out, and motherfuckers, I remember motherfuckers like, that shit is garbage, bro. Like, that shit was trash.
I can understand. No, Ring. I can truly understand where you're coming from. We have to acknowledge that people who have grown up over the years, that there are some movies that people will look at and see like, oh, that movie was complete trash, but people will love them many years later because they will find out most of these people don't even make stuff that compares to the stuff we was watching back then.
My
I'll never
God,
get.
I've
My
never
dad
heard
told me,
anybody talk this fondly of Mortal
no,
Kombat
no, but
before.
listen,
Never.
I have to bring this full circle. We have to be honest. Once we get older, we look at a lot of stuff differently because we looked at this stuff in our past and say, yeah, when we was little, we called this trash, but it's miles better than the stuff we see today, like Rebirth. My dad told me. He told me when most people saw Demolition Man for the first time, they hated it. But I cannot, bro. I can't find a person who doesn't love Demolition Man right now. He told me when he first went to see it, most people hated Demolition Man.
All right, now. I'm not gonna say that your dad is wrong, but I'm gonna say that on my block, when Demolition Man came out and you managed to get Wesley Snipes, from New Jack City and Rocky in the same movie, we was wilding, we was off, and I loved it. Like my whole block loved it. Like you gotta see that shit. And I seen this shit. I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like I loved it. And Sandra Bullock from Speed, it was like, yeah, this shit is.
That's what I'm saying. Like movies sometimes get better with time because people can look at it, make comparisons, and say, "Wow, the stuff we had, even though we called it trash, it was much better." That's the same thing with Rebirth. Mortal Kombat was miles better, but it was trash for the time because people were thinking better.
Bro, I don't know.
You know,
never heard anyone immortalize Mortal Kombat like this. Never.
It's like Resident Evil. People put Resident Evil to this such high echelon. Why? Because they see how bad these video game movies. They've seen Assassin's Creed.
I'll just admit that you made an investment in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, because I mean, I've never heard any.
You know what it is. I think
I'm going
he's trying to convert us to this new cult of Mortal Kombat that he's starting, this new religion of Mortal Kombat. So I think this is what it is. What this is.
Listen.
I'm going to get a return on my investment because
you're not getting
oh,
it.
Man.
Battle. All right, Battle. Don't say nothing. Battle.
It's a religion for him.
Don't say nothing. Just listen to me. All right. You have to understand. Mortal Kombat came out after Bloodsport, and it came out after Kickboxer. So that was the bar at the time for like an Americanized martial arts movie. And those movies had better stories, better villains, better fight scenes. Mortal Kombat 1, that shit was like some shit for like little kids. Like this is some kid shit.
Bro,
like,
you guys are high, man.
That shit was like some legit, bro. I don't smoke weed.
I take so much umbrage to you telling us that we're high.
I think you guys are legitimately high. Like
that's like the junkie telling the dealer to lay off the smack.
That movie sucked. It didn't age well, man.
Yeah,
like I'm high right now.
And Virtuoso is real high, but I'm not.
Actually, it aged very well compared to the crap movies we have.
The music did. The music aged well. I like to rave. They call me Rave Dave.
I ain't gonna lie, I do like to rave.
I gotta get in depth with how trash Rebirth is. First of all, you got rid of Johnny Cage, who was everybody's favorite character. You got rid of replaced him with a no name that nobody knows.
You can't fall in love with characters, man.
No. First and foremost, you are way off base. Now I know you talking some young shit. Johnny Cage. No. You're not gonna do this to me, Battle. I'm older than you. Battle. Johnny was not everybody's guy. Battle with Johnny Cage was a motherfucking joke. Everybody's guy was Sub-Zero. Everybody's guy, bro. Everybody's guy was either Sub-Zero or Scorpion. Not no motherfucking Johnny Cage.
Bro, Johnny Cage. Okay.
I was a Liu Kang guy.
One of the most beloved characters in Mortal Kombat. Johnny Cage is definitely on that list. I'm not saying he's above or Sub-Zero.
No, he's not. I'm gonna tell you.
Who's more than him,
bro? I'm gonna tell you something you don't know because you wasn't around. Most people in the beginning, you know who they played with? It wasn't even them. It was Kano because he'll rip your heart out. The only time you picked Johnny was to do the stupid ass move where he punched you in the dick. But that wore out fast. Other than that, motherfuckers was not playing with.
Here's the thing.
Playing with Johnny Cage like that.
Ray, honestly, I think you've been out of the video game.
No. You are bringing your young shit to the shit because I was there. Listen. No. What you're not gonna do is immortalize Johnny to the level of Mortal Kombat's Ryu. That is what he was not. He was not the equivalent of Ryu for MK. The equivalent of Ryu was.
Let me explain. Let me finish. I think you've been out of the video game loop for a long time to notice how much. No, hold on. Let me finish. You've been out of the video game loop for a long time to realize how much Johnny Cage fan base has went up over the years.
Bro, you just told on yourself.
That comment on the screen. Look at that.
Man, come on, man. Like,
my God, because you look.
Right.
Listen, Battle, just listen to me, all right? We're not talking about your generation. Maybe in your generation there was an uptick of Johnny Cage fans. I don't doubt that because they made the character more fun to play with later on. But I know that when the game came out and the movie and all of that, motherfuckers didn't fuck with Johnny. Johnny was Battle. Johnny was the Dan. You know Dan on Street Fighter that he shoot the little.
Okay. Look,
that was
Ring.
Johnny B.
Ring. What you're doing is you're trying to make it equivalent to something I was talking about where it has none. I was talking about Rebirth. The fact of the matter is, people did develop a love for Johnny Cage because you had more games. So if you're going to make a Mortal Kombat movie, it has to be as far as in reference to the games that you already made many years before that. People loved Johnny when Rebirth came out. He was one of the most beloved characters as far as in Mortal Kombat at the time. They replaced him with a guy almost nobody heard of.
Read it. You wanted the people in the chat to react, and they've been reacting. So read that.
Like, I honestly, I think they're being disingenuous. No, here's the thing. Forget all the
Battle. Read that. Read that one. What does that say?
I know what it says. It's a Sub-Zero, but it actually says Sub-Zero. But listen.
Not Battle. Read that one.
Okay.
Jay, let me chomp this shit because I'm from a similar enough era, a little bit to Battle, but I'm a few years older, right? Just a few. But at the same point, Battle. That's not the guy, bro.
What a guy!
I think you guys. No.
Johnny was a dickhead.
Bro, it was Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Johnny Cage was the little packing boy, bro. What the fuck you talking about?
No. Hold up.
Bro, he was like the side chick.
You know who Johnny was? Wait. Let me champ this shit. Battle. Johnny was more like the Dalsim of Mortal Kombat. They're like, yeah, he do yoga, but like you don't really fuck with him like that, bro. If you gonna play,
let me get it in. Okay. Like I said, you haven't caught up with the new generation. The thing is, if you look at Mortal Kombat X and 11, they mostly focus the story around Johnny Cage and his family. That's why the big resurgence is happening in some parts of Mortal Kombat 9, but not really. When it comes to Mortal Kombat X and 11, they mostly revolve around Johnny Cage's family, which is where the resurgence happened. I know a lot of people are kind of in a sense boomers because they're going to look back in the old days and be like, hey, Scorpion and Sub-Zero top dog. But the new generation isn't like that. They still love Johnny Cage. Don't get me wrong. They still love Sub-Zero.
You talking about two games, bro. I had MK1, MK2, MK3, UMK. I had MK on PS. Well, I think it was PS1 and PS2. Like, I'm an MK head, bro. I played them games, right? And what you talking about is like two new games. But most real MK, like, who the fuck is high on Johnny Cage?
No, okay. Okay, how about this? No, because I really think you're wrong about that. We can prove it another time, but I'm going to get this point right here. Who the freak knows Cole before Johnny Cage?
I tell you what, Battle.
Oh,
no. You just
anybody born in the 90s, motherfucker.
No. It ain't even that. It ain't even that. You mad that Cole has a better sweater vest than you, and that's what this is really all about.
Nobody
talking this shit about Cole. And I like Cole, and I like his family.
Why?
He fight for his family. Because he fight for his fucking family. That's why I like Cole. Johnny.
That's what Scorpion. That's what Sub-Zero. Oh my god.
Bro, Johnny is the MK equivalent of Dan, bro. He's Dan of you know Dan with the pink that has the pink gi. Listen. When they made UMK,
best lines,
bro. When they made UMK, right? Johnny Cage was in the game, right? And they finally gave him some pants, right? Because remember, Johnny used to wear the little the little boy shorts in the first UMK and the Chinese slippers, and he looked real fucking weird. Like you got Chinese slippers.
Man, get
short,
wait, he looked like he was surfing.
My God, I'm telling you real shit. A lot of motherfuckers didn't play with Johnny in UMK3 because he had spandex and leg warmers on, blue leg warmers with icy whites, and people would not play with him. Motherfuckers chose to play with Stryker.
Ring, you forgetting something. Ring, you forgetting something. This is where you fall down. Where do you get these guys? That's memorable. Give me Cole's best line.
Nah, be like, you're not gonna sell me the dream.
Give me Cole's best. You can't give me one line from Cole. Bro, give me his boringest line.
My guy, you're not gonna sell me this dream that people have been falling over themselves all these years for fucking Johnny Cage. That is not reality.
Hold up. Ring, you forgot. These are $500 sunglasses, a-ho. Give me Cole's best line. Give me Cole's best line.
Bro, I just know that I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you this, right? You saying that Cole is so bad, but I'm actually looking forward to the next MK movie because of Cole, because he gonna bring in Johnny. But when I seen the first MK, wait. When I seen the first MK, right, and it was the best of those movies because they made several other bad movies that were worse than that one. When I seen that shit, I didn't want to see that shit again, B. Like, I didn't. Like, I was like, this shit whack. Like, why y'all got him playing Raiden? This shit whack.
Okay, I'll make it easy. Ring, I'll make it easy. What is his best moment in Mortal Kombat Rebirth?
When he saved his family and he got the sweater vest.
You talking about the plot armor?
Bro, look. Battle. As a family man, my eyes welled up in that scene. That shit moved me, dog.
So that wasn't better than Johnny Cage chopping off Scorpion's head with the shield, was it?
No, that was regular. That was mids, bro. Like, oh, he won. Yay.
What about Johnny Cage kicking Goro off that cliff?
Bro, that Goro looked terrible even by 90s standards.
And bro, are you serious, bro?
Yes, I'm serious.
You had stuff like the Blob coming up. Are you talking about makeup and special effects?
Yo, dog, you see, this is the thing, right?
I think there's a special difference. Some things look big to you when you're a child. You know, as you go older, that's like that girl was a Muppet.
Bro, that Goro looked at like you thinking that we was looking at that Goro back then and saying, wow, look at the special effects. It was like, yo, this shit look cheesy as shit, bro. Like,
and the longest Sesame Street, bro. Come on,
the Goro from Rebirth looks worse.
The Goro from Rebirth looked like he could fight Thanos. Fuck is you talking about? That shit was mean, B.
I don't know if you know what CGI in this age is capable of, but it's way better in comparison to what crap they put. That doesn't even look real. It looks like
you
it's
over
fake.
here ranting and raving about a 90s Goro, thinking you gonna tell me about CGI, bro.
He's ranting and raving about. Nah, hold on. He's ranting and raving about how the movies are getting fucking worse, right? In Mortal Kombat as each one goes on. Yeah, he's turning around and telling you've no idea about how good CGI is now in comparison. Shut the fuck up.
No, I'm making.
You listening to the shit you spew?
I'm making plenty of points. Hey, you want
making plenty of points against yourself, bro.
I forgot. There's also another great fight scene. That Mortal Kombat versus Smoke fight. That.
Bro, I didn't even. Yo, my God. I didn't even. You know how forgettable that movie was that I didn't even remember Smoke was in that shit.
Bro, like y'all.
My God, like you wildin', B.
Okay.
That shit was trash, bro. I'm sorry, but that shit was trash.
Let me ask you a question. Did you know Reptile was in that movie?
Was he?
I'm talking about in Rebirth.
Oh, what the new one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was in it. Yeah, but he was an actual reptile, which I know he was like that. Wait a minute. No. Wait. Battle. Can I talk, Battle? Damn. Now, in one of the games, he was a fucking reptile. One of the ones I had, one of the more newer ones, he was a fucking reptile. Like, literally with a reptile head and all of that.
He didn't walk on all fours, Julius. This is ridiculous, Julius.
Listen.
Oh, my God.
I'm gonna keep it real with you right now. You want my honest opinion? The best adaptation I've ever seen of Mortal Kombat was The Pitch by Michael J. White. Honestly, that was the best I've seen. It was better than one, and yes, it was better than one to me. No, to me, because that was really engaging. It was dark in all the ways that it needed to be dark. But I will say that the new Mortal Kombat to me is a better film and a better story than that childish ass shit from the 90s. That shit was some cartoon shit.
I gotta put you through a test. Okay, let's just talk movies and sequels, right? Spider-Man. What's the best Spider-Man in your opinion?
Spider-Man. Oh wait, out of all of them, Toby and Daniel. Toby and
yeah. What's the best Spider-Man?
All right,
Spider-Man
I'm gonna be
2.
on. Yeah, Spider-Man 2. That's what I was gonna say. That was the one where.
Stop helping him. Stop helping him. Okay, what's the best X-Men?
I don't really like the X-Men movies, bro.
Okay, what's the best Captain America?
For me, it was Civil War.
Boo, you already lost. Okay, so now let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Okay, what is the best?
You already lost based on Battle's opinion. As we know, it's very, 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 very strong in a consensus viewpoint.
Bro, okay, we get it, Mark. Okay, what's the best Batman movie?
For me, all right. Let me do this because I'm real big on DC. The best Batman movie for me was Dark Knight.
I disagree, but that's a fair point. That's a fair point. Okay, now I'm trying to think of what's another one. I'm trying to think like what's a good. Okay, what is the best? Okay, what is the best movie that you think we have of this previous generation from 2010 through 2020?
The best movie battle. What kind of category is that? How many movies do I have?
The best movie we've had of this generation. You're talking to a man who's 30 freaking plus years of age. He's like, so that you're telling him of this generation. To him, that's his whole generation. So you're asking him of the last 35 fucking years the best movie. The fuck kind of question is that,
right,
Battle?
Mark, I'm gonna make it easy. Mark Battle, I'm gonna make it easy for you. The best movie that I've seen is when Mia Khalifa brought her boyfriend home to her mother and her mother sucked his dick. That is a great movie. That's
Mia Khalifa featuring Juliana Vega.
Yes.
No, it was when Lisa Ann
Ring
was on
like
the
you
couch table
up fucking
and the
top.
dude stuck his thumb up her ass, and she fucking raised her head up.
No, look, being
was
serious, being a serious battle, being serious, right? What you're asking me to do is tantamount to how I think of the TBE argument. There is no best movie. I have different moods, so I watch different movies. Based on the mood, the movie is either effective or it isn't. Now, what you don't want to understand is that even back then, we knew that Mortal Kombat was cheesy and trash. You don't want to accept that.
We gonna put. How about this? Ring. How about this? Okay, we gonna put a lid on it because apparently I'm investing in Mortal Kombat. So this is me getting the return on my investment.
Oh God, Battle! I accept. Look, Battle. I accept that movie. There's a bad movie that I really like. Right? I got bad movies that I really. Oh, come on! Don't do this. Don't be petty. Listen. There's bad movies that I like. Like I know, for example, Mark, connoisseur of horror films, right? To Mark, Poltergeist 2 is cheesy and it's funny, right? And I dig that. I dig it. Like, yeah, I see it. I see where it is that. But for me, I know, yeah, this is horror gold. You know what I mean? As far as 80s standards of movies. So I accept that my view is not the consensus view. Somebody else sees this movie, they're gonna
hold on. Mark told me personally that Freddy is Dead is the greatest horror movie ever made. So I'm just not going to listen to it anymore. So
no, I didn't. What the
fuck? I got look.
Mark, never.
Mark, you told me that.
No, I didn't.
All right. If we're gonna do horror, because it is Halloween, I'm gonna say this, and I know that a lot of people are gonna think I'm old and I'm being nostalgic. But a horror movie whose atmosphere and the power of the scenes is still effective, at least for me, even here today, is Exorcist. It still works. I watched that movie. It still works. There's a lot of
what top horror movie list are you reading off of right now?
I mean, bro, I'm a connoisseur of horror movies. All right, I watch anything,
but not martial art films though.
Bro, Mortal Kombat is garbage, and you just gotta live with that, bro. Like you gotta live with that one, bro.
I still can't believe, bro. Rebirth will go down in history as the biggest like missteps that I'd say we've ever had as far as video game movies, and that's saying a lot because we had a lot
No,
of
it's
trash.
not. No, it is not.
It is definitely one of the worst. Mortal Kombat 1. If you talk to anybody, they will tell you
You are talking to anybody, and they're telling you that it's not that good. You're just not listening.
You're the exception to the rule. But if you talk to most people, they will tell you Mortal Kombat 1 is top dog when it comes to these video game movies. It is top dog for a reason, Ring, because it's way better.
Bro, I don't know. Listen. I know that you've been going into those fucking Reddit chats and those forums, and you've been talking to people in there because the people I know, right? The people I know, they've been. Bro, me.
Nobody knows code. Nobody remembers. You couldn't tell me his best lines.
Bro, it's okay. I know that after the movie, when the scene.
How about this, Ring? How about this? Give me the best line in Mortal Kombat Rebirth. Not from Cole, just from anybody.
I can't remember. I'm old, dog. Like, you want me to remember lines from a movie that I just watched a few weeks ago?
This is the problem. Like you can't remember one.
Okay. Battle. For starters, the parallel that you're using is off base. You've probably seen Mortal Kombat 1,000,000 times. I've seen Rebirth maybe 2, right? 2, right? And 2.5.
You want to know something funny? I can give you a line, and I've seen it once.
Look, read this, Battle. Read this. Read it.
Nah, bro, forget it. Rios, you tripping.
My God, them shits is trash. How many people in the comments gotta tell you them shits is trash?
No, ring.
Yo, they don't let Spence live, bro.
This is what you gotta do. All you gotta do is when you wake up tomorrow morning, post a poll. Which Mortal Kombat movie is the best and why? We can bet $20 on this. I can take that 20 and give me a Publix sub.
The thing is, Julius isn't arguing with you, right, over which of the shit movies you're talking about is the best of the shit movies. He's just telling you straight up he thinks that they're shit. Yeah. And then you're turning it into an argument of which is the best of the three in your own head. I don't remember Julius saying which is the best between the three. Did you say once which is the best, Julius?
Never. I'm just telling you, when I saw the movie, it was trash, and because it was trash, I don't watch it.
No, okay, no. But let's just do this. No, let's just do this.
Why? Why do you want to use Julius's entire platform to satisfy your urge on which is the best movie? And I can rig that poll by telling everybody just to vote for Rebirth just to piss you off.
Okay, cool. I'll trust your best judgment to think you won't do that. So here's the thing. Ring.
Battle. It is 3 a.m, and I didn't even know that. I'm supposed to be interviewing Demetrius Andre tomorrow. I gotta go to sleep.
Are you serious? Stop lying.
Yeah, dead ass at 4 p.m.
Man, come. Okay. Ring.
Do you want me to ask Demetrius?
Yeah. Ask him for me. When you say you're going live at 4?
Yeah, bro, 4 p.m.
At work. Oh my.
Yeah, God. Julius, ask Demetrius Andre which is the best of the 3 Mortal Kombat. And ask him this question: were any of them any good?
Ring.
Oh my God, I can't I can't believe it's 3 a.m, bro. Like, I literally cannot believe that.
Ring. Hold up. Before you go, hold up. Just do this one simple favor, because I'm not going to be on live stream because I'm going to be at work. Listen, when you wake up, just type in, just make a poll. It's not that hard.
Oh my God. No, Julius, just end this stream. This dude's not going to stop.
Battle. Listen, bro. Listen. Just listen. Don't talk. Don't wait to talk. Just listen. Open your ears. Open your mind, right? Listen. You like the movie. I didn't like the movie. Right? That's all. That's it.
It doesn't have to be a competition. Just we don't have to bet on it.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a competition. But make a poll where you're gauging the percentage of viewership to try and invalidate or validate my point. What are you on?
Okay. listen, we're having a conversation. We'll probably get back to it at some point.
Yo, Johnny Spooch.
Julius
wants to go to sleep.
I just want to hear other people's opinions. You have a big platform.
You have heard other people's opinions, and they told you.
I mean, besides the people that are up 3 a.m.
All right. Look, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Ring.
I'm